And now, he doesn't find things eyebrow-raising because raising his eyebrow would take a crane. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on. Mandate. Get it on. Emmy's figuring out the board. Dawson is on his rock and roll booze cruise. So.
Living his best life.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it heated up a little bit, or maybe that's just in my headphones. All right. Steve Trevino is here. Trevino, gringos. Or to me, I call him mijo.
Mijito.
Mijito.
I get these hosts that like they'll try.
Yeah.
Turn it over here, and I'm like, guy, just. I'm not one of those Mexicans.
No,
that gets worked up.
No, you're one of the good ones. You know your place. That's what I like about you.
You know where you belong, Trevino.
Yeah, cool it down, Whitey stalking for a second.
Pump the brakes. You have zero skills.
I grew up out here, and so I got the Hispanic culture thing early and often, and then my mom, who's the whitest person in the world, was a Chicano studies major. So
she took her studies very serious.
And once she graduated, she went right from Valley College to Wall Street and started raking in the money by buckets. Now
killing it.
I'm completely convinced. They have majors, and you go to junior college. You could go to nursing school, you could go to accounting school, you could take welding. But if you take Chicano studies, you don't have to get a job once you graduate.
Ever.
So the whole plan, it's twofold. I got to tell people I'm in college, and even though I'm in my mid-40s, and then once I graduate, I can't get a job. So I have to. This checks both boxes.
It works out great.
Yes.
It's like, I'm Chicano studies. Well, what do you do?
I study. I go down to the Home Depot and I study them in their natural habitat.
I just hang out with them.
It's funny because Chicanos, all they do is work, but Chicano studies majors don't work.
Have to work.
We study. They're looking at them like they're in an ant farm.
Once you get a degree, then you don't have to work.
Yeah, I grew up out here, so I got it. And then work in construction. That's all I got.
But your dad?
That's all I got. No, my dad's Italian. So I got nothing, but everybody studied Spanish, and I studied Spanish, and then I just learned from the construction site.
Yeah, just being on.
Yeah, I basically learned how to say limpiar.
Yeah,
learn to clean up.
You know that puto does not mean friend.
No. I learned ayúdame.
Ayúdame.
Yeah.
Tráeme el base.
Yeah, I learned a lot of like help and clean and ladder and shit like that. And then, then there was the music, which drove me insane. That's all it was.
Every song ends with dun dun.
Dun dun. Yeah.
Every song.
To
let you know the monotony's over.
We used to, Dr. Drew on Loveline, this is why my program director hated me. On Loveline, we used to play a game called Ranchero Accordion Countdown, and we'd pick random ranchero songs. And Byron, you can pick random ranchero songs, and we'd be, how long before the accordion kicks into this song?
Never long.
And it was always like 1.7 seconds, and Drew would go, I'm going 1.3. Like, you'd hear like, da, da, ba, ba, ba. Like,
but it also tells you like how, this German showed up in Mexico.
Yeah.
With this squeeze box.
Yeah.
And the Mexicans like, oh, we'll do that too.
Yeah, I don't feel like the Germans are happy about what you did to their music, though. I think it's like if they left off a Porsche and 50 years later they came back and there was a donkey there, and they were like,
Volkswagen?
What? Yeah, what did you do?
I mean, this motor goes in the back too, and then now it's in a fucking Volkswagen.
Yeah, so we used to play Ranchero Accordion Countdown, which we can try playing here. The special, Steve's got a very funny special out called Steve Trevino. Simple man, and it looks great. It's funny.
So good.
It's so good. It's
top 5 on
top
Netflix.
5 on Netflix.
In one day.
Available as we speak, and then I guess dates coming up as well at some point, right?
Yeah, I too. It's funny. People go, "You touring?" I'm like, well, that's what we do.
Right.
We don't make a living.
I know it's the only question. Like, no one ever goes to a roofer going, "You roofing?
You roofing this week?"
No, I'm gonna take the summer off, and then maybe a few months.
We'll see.
Few months in December, in Christmas. I'm like, no, you just
Take
do
a year
it.
off my job.
I know everyone makes a big deal out of it. It's true. You just go out.
So when's the tour?
Do
I'm
some
like,
show.
now.
Now.
It's
That's
what I
right.
do.
Yeah. God love you. But
I
you
hit the
had
road.
real jobs. You know what I mean?
I did. I started construction at 12.
Yeah.
My dad put me, same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
not
go
me,
to work.
but I
You know.
wandered on a construction site. But
And then I was like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm gonna go wait tables and be
Yes.
in the air conditioning.
yes.
And then door guy, Addison Improv. Mm-hmm. And then that was it.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Did you learn anything doing construction?
A little bit. I mean, my wife and I do a lot of real estate, fixer uppers.
Good.
But not enough to. I'm a demo guy. I'll tear up a
Every
kitchen.
Mexican's a demo guy.
I'll tear up a kitchen, but
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say that I can tile your house,
Okay.
but people will know that you're on a budget.
I hear something bleeding
You know,
through.
yeah.
Maybe Emmy's
that
got
mic's
his
still
mic
open.
hot. or
Come on,
something.
guy.
Come on, Emmy. Oh, he's not
A lot of
in the room.
cock in my jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of cock.
Yeah. You do that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll fix that.
There's something to that. I was just.
But I don't know. I mean, look, you're an entertainer like I am. I enjoy the manual labor at home. Like I still cut my own grass. I get on the riding lawnmower. I have 12 acres, so and I just enjoy the monotony and the feeling of I did that.
Yeah.
It's done.
No, It's part of my thesis in terms of why America is going insane, because we started farming out all the mundane, regular life business, which keeps you sane. It's not even grounded. I think people go, "Oh, you think you're too rich to do your own dishes or something?" It's not that. It's literally something physical with a task involved with it. It could be washing your own car, cutting your own lawn, organizing your own garage. And we literally have, mobile dog grooming vans who come to your house.
Yep.
And my family's so lazy, we hired a dog walker to take them to the van.
Can you do that too?
The van's at the end of the driveway. I'm not walking them.
You need to come and bring the dog.
You got a dog walker taking the dog to the mobile grooming van. Kids should be washing their own dogs. It's a part of being a kid. But what you're missing, or the food is showing up at the house with the Grubhub, and then you have the maids, and they have. I love the idea that there's organizers. Women love
professional.
organizers. Who knows more about your own shit than you?
Then your shit.
It's your shit. Just go organize it.
Or how
Now-
about we throw half this shit away?
I know she's a professional organizer. It's like, no, she's an unemployable bitch who's now charging you $40 an hour.
She's your friend.
Because she's giving you herself a label
Yeah,
to make
she's-
you labels.
She's the friend in the rich neighborhood
Do your own shit.
that goes, I need something to do.
Paint your own walls.
Feels great.
Spread your own caulk.
I built my own chicken coop.
Build your own chicken coop.
And my neighbors freak out. They're like, Trevino, you have enough money to hire somebody. And I go, but mentally I need it.
Oh, here's how you know this is good for you. These tasks, these little tasks that everyone is trying to farm out. People find out I used to be a builder. And if they did build their own chicken coop or dog house or bird feeder, immediately out comes the phone. You know what I mean? And they're talking. Now, they could have just been nominated for a Golden Globe or an Emmy, but out comes the phone. And they go, look at this. Yeah. I went down to Home Depot. They tell you all the steps.
The whole thing.
Yeah. And then I got the chicken wire. Now, the guy said to go with treated lumber, but I went with redwood because it looked better and it's good.
It looked
It's good.
nice.
It looked nice. Then I bought myself a pneumatic stable. It's like, okay, you're more proud of building a chicken coop than you are of your kid.
Of your
So
child.
don't tell me this doesn't have something positive attached to it. No one ever goes, hey, here's a picture of me drinking and beating off.
Right. Because I am zero proud of that.
Here's
But
me binge watching something on Netflix.
But it is that feeling of accomplishment and that feeling of stepping back and going, I started that and I finished it.
Right.
Because in this business, it never ends.
Right.
There is no finish.
And the people that are trying to talk you out of doing it yourself are the people who don't do it for themselves, and they want you to languish with them. You know,
get in my group.
Why should you use your time and your money? And they break it down to a thing too, which is like, you do a theater and you get $25,000, and that takes an hour, so you're worth $25,000 an hour. So this chicken coop's going to cost $4.7 million. And shouldn't you just hire a guy for $300? They're always doing that. They're trying to talk you out of it.
They're passive aggressive about it.
Right.
Oh, you have time to do that?
Yeah.
I don't have time.
I don't have time for that.
We're so busy being a good dad and a good husband.
Or there's the one where they just claim to be lame. I could never. Which,
yeah, you can't do.
What do you
it's
think?
Not that fucking hard.
What do you think of Black History Month? I could never learn about black people. I'm not interested. I'm no good. I don't have time.
I don't have an Xbox.
Yeah. Well, speaking of videos and video games, you want next level with an F1 simulator. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you going fluffy nuts with the car?
No.
Here, I don't mean fluffy nuts. Sounds like a snack. I mean fluffy went nuts with the VWs, the wagons.
He's got a
the
whole
vans.
He's got a whole
compound.
Yeah.
He's got a compound filled with VW vans.
Well, a partner of mine, we starting to get into F1. I don't know if you're into it. It is really.
I'm into it.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Got into it. We went to the F1 in Austin. Blew my mind. Really, the atmosphere, the energy. And a buddy of mine goes, dude, we should do a private F1 car club where we store vehicles, but it's also a club and we can hang out. And we're drunk. I go, yeah.
Yeah.
I go, we should do that. And then he calls me up and goes, dude, we're doing it. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. What do you need from me? And then here we are. We have this auto club in San Antonio, Texas called Prestige. And we have the F1 simulator. And it's a full bar and a full club. But we also do shows. And I don't know, we just did it.
Okay, couple things. All right, the reason people love F1 and are so attracted to F1 is two things. A, it is man at his best. When you look at, like when you hear Hamas attacked Israel and, put M80s up the young girls' asses and filmed it and like had sex with their grandma and had them film it and have the grandkids had to watch and stuff.
Then we cut her head off.
And then we cut her head off. You go, okay, that's humanity at its all-time worst. Like it does not get any lower than I'm going to have the chick's kids watch me rape mom before I kill her. Okay?
As you do.
That's at the bottom. That's at the very bottom. F1 is humanity at its best. First off, it's, one guy's driving the car, but there's 250 people who have to breathe on that car.
Fine tuning.
And they all have a specific job. The engine guy isn't setting up the suspension, and the aero guy's not monkeying with the brakes. You know what I mean? Like that. And then there's a computer guy, and then there's the pit crew.
The suspension guy.
There's the transport guy. There's the everything guy. And it keeps going because then there's the guy who's working on the rubber compounds for the medium soft tires or the soft tires or the hard compound. He's not even there. He's back at Pirelli.
Of an inch ruins everything.
Oh, yeah.
An eighth of an inch.
And everyone is so motivated and so good that it's, tenths and hundreds and thousands of a second between first and fifth place, right?
Now, you're going to hate me, because the gateway for me was NASCAR.
All right.
I was into NASCAR, would watch NASCAR, and it was like California rolls. You know what I mean? You go, oh, man, I eat sushi.
Yeah. Stepping stone. Yeah.
So now that I'm in F1, you're right. I mean, it's every detail, every corner, every break, it's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Mercedes F1 team has 1,200 people employed.
That's a fact?
That's a fact. So says my screen.
Holy shit.
The point is this. That is humanity at their best, and that's what we're able to do when everybody gets on the same page and everyone is motivated, and it's also the ultimate meritocracy. Because the day they just go, look, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to take all the money that F1 generates in the course of a season, and first place and 13th place, everyone's getting paid the same. We want equity. We're going to even the tarmac, and we're just going to pay everyone the same. And there'll be a trophy for first place, but the same trophy will be 5th place and 9th place and 80th place, and no more of this garish up on the podium spraying champagne. We're going to take everybody. We're going to lift everybody up and put everybody on the podium, and it's all going to be the same height. That's the second it all goes away,
And
idiots.
that never works well.
It can't.
Ever.
You want to, lap times would go down. Drivers would be eating sandwiches while they were driving.
Well, they need to time them. What are you
They wouldn't even time them. Oh, it'd be unfair to time them.
Yeah.
Because
Well, don't time them.
No, you can't time them. You're right.
But you also have to think about the ups and downs, right? The preparation, showing up at the race. You've done everything you think you're supposed to do.
Yes.
And then lap 3,
Yeah.
you throw a piston, and
Yep.
it's fucking over.
Yes.
It's like, well, start again.
No mulligans, no
you're-
takies, no nothing.
Dude, you got bad tires? You're
Well,
done.
then you throw a rod with the piston attached to it, technically, but
Right.
term
But,
is rod
yeah,
throwing.
you know
But
what I mean.
all right, you throw that rod, and then the guy who builds the engines, he's on a real short leash right now. Like he's
backing up.
he's got to go at least 10 more races before throwing something. And if he throws something in the next 3 races, then he's out, and that's all part of the meritocracy.
It's like the field goal kicker that never missed the field goal until it's playoff time.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, dude, listen, we got to talk.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've hit all the other. Yeah.
Meritocracy. So an F1 simulator, first off, that's got to come out of some country that's smarter than ours.
There's only 2 in North America. We got one of them. They're not cheap. And
I'm out.
I had no idea how. I mean, you see it
What kind of ballpark cheap, expensive wise?
about 150,000.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you see these guys. You watch. You're into it.
And it's the same one F1 drivers would use.
Correct.
You need to learn spa during the off season.
But
or
you
whatever.
sit in that thing, and you're exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's a simulator.
I'd feel the same way with my sex robot.
Yeah.
I'm fucking
You
depleted.
sit in that bitch.
I need a Gatorade. I need some salt.
Why so aggressive? Slow down.
So, I mean, a half hour in that stuff, and
You're exhausted.
yeah, you're
And
exhausted.
these guys are doing it in full flame suits.
Yeah.
You know, in the heat.
Yeah.
You know, with actual cars that could kill them.
Yes.
And I'm in the AC crying like a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I just from the little bit of racing that I've done, you wear long johns, fireproof ones, and then you wear your fire suit. I've gotten out of the car many times, and my back is soaked all the way through the fire suit, which is like 5 layers of Nomex or something.
And you're,
like
you're pulling G's.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not pulling F1 G's, but what it is you don't realize how long you usually go without breaking your concentration. In that, even if you're up on stage, even if it's a sold-out theater, even if you're in the middle of your rock and roll, you'll still break concentration. You'll still kind of, sometimes you'll look off to the wings and see somebody, your man, Booker or something, standing there laughing or something. You take a beat, or you look down into the audience and ask some guy if you're going to hit off his Ducati or whatever it is. But when you're driving the car, there is no break. There's no stop and concentration, and you don't realize you don't go that long without braking. You probably break every 21 seconds.
You are engaged.
Yes.
I mean, but I'll break. It's funny you say that because I'll be there driving, you're having fun, and all of a sudden you're like,
right.
I better pay attention. I just found myself on the wall.
Can you put other cars on the track with you?
You can, and not very fun. You got to get pretty good.
A little rivalry about who turns the fastest lap at Circuit of the Americas,
and then they give you where I'm at. They give you the line.
Yes,
like you follow the line, stay on the line, and it'll tell you like shift here. You can go all the way to paddles and actual shifting, or you can do the automatic where the computer does it for you. I'm not even at the
shifting.
Not at the paddle.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, how did I drop 3 gears?
You'll get used to it.
Yeah,
You gotta log some time.
The more you do, you got to log
The
time.
sound is up. They're doing the sound
The whole thing.
as well?
Yeah, the whole thing. Did you see Gran Turismo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid was on a freaking
Yeah.
Right.
computer.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had one of these.
That could be you.
Yeah.
Fuck comedy. I'm going into F1.
Yeah, the only thing that was fake about Gran Turismo is in every car racing movie, there's the scene where the bad guy, the antagonist, pulls
Always.
up next to him on the straight, and then at some point they look at him.
The full 90-degree
They look
turn.
long and hard. Like, first off, I've done a million races.
Wink.
You can't see what the fucking person. And by the way, if you are looking at the person's not looking back at you. The person's driving, and you're wearing a helmet, a full face helmet, so you don't really have peripheral. You're kind of going off your mirrors, mostly mirrors in a race car. Although the last GT1, no, I drove a professional Trans Am 1 race. I had a camera in the dash. I should say a screen. Little screen. You could see what was going on behind you
Like
in
a
this
video
little
game.
screen.
Cars have
Yeah,
that too,
well,
yes.
like cars. Yeah, because you couldn't. You're so strapped in, you can't back. It's hard to look
Not a lot of
around.
neck turning.
Throw the arm.
You're wearing a Hans device that stops your head from moving. You know what I mean? So that scene where they always pull up next to each other, and then the bad guy looks at him for a good hard count, which is insane.
Bullshit,
No one
yeah.
would do that. And then at some point, after looking at him for a good hard count, he rams him. He
Yeah,
turns
you know
and
what?
bong, bong, and then our guy's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he's like, "Bong." Well, it's like.
And then the announcer's like, they're trading paint.
Yeah.
They're out there trading
Race
paint.
officials frown on you ramming guys when you're next to them on a straightaway.
200 miles an hour.
If
Not
you're
encouraged.
coming into a turn and one guy kind of dives in a little, maybe they'll make some room. There'll be some in the middle of a straightaway. No, they will not tolerate you banging somebody down the middle. And there's not going to be a lot in it for you either. If you're just banging somebody at 185 miles an hour, you're going to get
And you
fucked
go, well,
up.
thanks for hitting my $2 million car for no
Right.
reason.
Right. That's in every race
Every
movie.
race movie.
Every race movie.
The-
Long,
the wink.
long, hard look.
Weird eye contact.
So, Steve, I know in the special, your wife directed it.
She did.
Wow, that's
man.
nice.
She's an NYU grad and, went to Stella Adler and studied acting and the whole thing. And we just kind of, when we got married, we just started she jumped on board with my career and we've been doing it ever since. I mean, we self-produced and paid for the last 4 specials.
Oh, that's great.
Just because fucking Hollywood's Hollywood. And,
Right.
And I don't have to wait for them to tell me I'm good. I just do it.
Is she giving you notes?
Oh, yeah.
How is that?
I always tell her, I go, look, I'm in charge at home when it comes to our business. And when I tell you to do something, you don't do it. I go, but when you're the director, I let you be the director.
Right.
See how that works?
Yeah.
I fucking let you be the boss.
Right.
She's amazing, man. I mean, we have a great relationship, and she gets my brand and what I'm trying to do. So, we had this idea of making it, and I don't know if you noticed, but very one-man showy, and she delivered it.
Yeah.
I mean, she did a great job.
She did an incredible job, yeah.
And she would be like, we need to turn here and face that camera, and when you do your dad's character, make sure you turn this way. I'm like, all right. And I mean, we did it, and look, I don't want to sit here and complain about Hollywood because I'd love to be in Hollywood, but they never gave us a chance. We just learned to do it together. And I don't wait. That's the problem with this new generation. They wait. Well, what am I going to get? And how do I get? Just fucking go to work, dude.
I get, I
Get a
agree.
podcast. Be good. How about be good?
It made me.
How about you be good?
It made me think of a joke which I came up with when I was in Naples a few weeks back, which is
The seafood restaurant?
the seafood restaurant that has a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be called the seafood restaurant with a microphone.
With a mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost open mic, but we bring in cool people.
Off the hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
And Captain Brian comes popping in.
food is awesome.
That's right.
Yeah, Captain Brian comes in.
Awesome.
Hey, buddy. He's best friends with everybody. Buddy, you're my best friend.
Yeah. Awesome food.
Good food, actually.
And fun. So I'm staying at the
The guy is literally cutting meat next to the green room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, if you need some ham and you can't walk more than 4 feet, you can
Stick your
grab
arm
some.
out.
Just knock the wall. Oh.
Yeah, stick your arm out.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, Beto. And he's like, hey, do you like ham? And then
that place is filled with Mexicans just busting their ass back there, man.
you look
nonstop.
at Canada and you're like, how do y'all do it without us?
Well, as I've said, here's. So,
I don't want to take you off the joke.
No, I'll get back to the joke. But I've said, and people freak out when I say this, but I'll say to you, I'll go to places. You go to Canada. I think I was asking this when we were like in the Netherlands, or where do we go? Ireland,
Yeah, went to
stuff like
Netherlands,
that.
Ireland, yeah.
I go, who are your Mexicans? And they go, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
And I go, who are your Mexicans?
Yeah, who does this?
Who does the work?
Right.
Who does the yard? Who does the blocks, balls? Who does
Right.
the kitchen? And at first they get offended, and then they pause and they go, "Oh, Yugoslavians."
Yeah, they come in.
And they come in. We bring them in, and they do all the lawns, and they do all the stacking, and they do all
They have
whatever.
their own neighborhood.
Yeah. They got their own thing going, and so you realize that each culture has a culture nearby that they can bring in to do the shit that they don't want to do.
Yeah, they're like, hey, listen, it looks really shitty over there.
Yeah.
It's a little better here, and we have a job for you.
We got a job for you. You can slice meat right by the green room.
Right by the green room.
You walk down this hall, and it's just Mexicans mashing potatoes and slicing meat and pulling
And it's like
buns out of
husband-wife
it.
teams
Yeah, going at it.
Oh, yeah.
Going at it.
right in the green room.
Yeah. And you got to kind of walk it without, slipping and get up there. But anyway, so I'm out there, and the joke was I'm staying at the Four Seasons. And I just decided, fuck it. I've sold out a fifth show. I'm not staying at the Red Roof Inn. I deserve better. And I'm staying at the Four Seasons. And at Four Seasons is beautiful. And the Ferrari convention is in town. And it's the Italian car convention, whatever. But it's for everyone is Ferrari. And all the high heavy hitter Ferrari guys are all staying at the Four Seasons too. So I walk in, and there's a bunch of 63-year-old guys dressed head to toe in full Ferrari gear, because that's how they do it. They have
to let you
Scuderia.
know.
You have to let you know.
When I'm not in my car,
Right.
I have one.
Right. I'm wearing my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got driving shoes,
Right.
red slacks, red sweater, red windbreaker, Ferrari cap,
gloves hanging.
gloves,
Watch.
driving gloves hanging, watch. They got the watch.
Yeah.
And the guy's 63 and he's head to toe. And I always think he's a douchebag, but like, fine. I have cars too, but I don't wear it.
I don't
but
need
all
the
right.
outfit.
Okay, fine. But then I marvel because his wife is dressed head to toe in Ferrari gear as well. She looks like she's
geared up.
pit crew
Yep.
for an F1 team. And I go, Jesus Christ. So I hate this guy because I think he's a douchebag. But on the other hand, how does he have this much dominion over his wife? Like, how did he? I've never been with a woman where I could get her to dress full head to toe Ferrari gear and leave the house with me.
In anything.
I said, I couldn't even get my ex-wife to put on a smile.
I'm so mad at you right now. As a comic, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm like, ooh, I know what I'm going to say. I know what I'm going to say. And then fucking you nailed it. You said exactly what, like, how do you get these women on board?
How? I couldn't.
Not only that, I get it. It's a $500,000 car. But these fucking rednecks are doing it.
Could you say to your wife, put on this Lamborghini belt?
It's not
She'd be
happening.
like, fuck off.
Hey, baby, put on.
Here's some Maserati earrings. Just one. Just put one
These
on.
rednecks. I wear camo, you wear camo. Come on,
Right.
baby. Come on.
I would like to sit down and interview the guys.
Dude.
High end is the F1 shit. Low end is the biker shit, where they
Yep.
get them to dress exactly
Biker
like
chick.
them. There's like a steampunk version
Yeah.
too, where it's like, how'd you get her to put goggles on top of a top hat? you know?
Our game day, they wear the jerseys.
Well,
for a
here's my
fucking team
here's
together.
here's my thought. I think the biker guys met the chick at Sturgis. So she was already there.
Looking for
She
that.
was that's her that's
Culture.
kind of, and I feel like punk rock, they meet
Yep.
at a
Her
Germs
dad used to
concert.
hit her.
Their dad used to hit her.
And she's like, I know where people that hit women are.
He met her in a mosh pit.
Right,
You know
that
what I mean?
guy,
Like
yep.
already. Ferrari guy had to talk her into this outfit. She wasn't pre-Ferrari'd up.
No woman just starts off.
No,
as
they don't
Ferrari.
start Ferrari.
They were doing coke in the restroom together.
What do you think he started with, the jacket or the slacks?
Probably the pants.
Pants are risky, though, because they're making an ass
the jacket
look bad.
comes out and off, and
Just,
might have been
he
the jacket.
probably brought it home like people do this with vibrators. It's just try it out.
give it a whirl.
Just give it a whirl. Just let me see if I can.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
I'll hang out by the foot of the bed, and you just
Give it a bash.
You probably brought the jacket and said, "Try the jacket on."
I bought you this, and then she goes, "I'm not wearing that," and he goes, "Well, it was $8,000."
Right.
And she goes,
right.
"Well."
Right. And then at some point you had to evoke, like, Larry's wife did put the jacket on. And
Larry's,
she said,
and you know what? I'll get you one of these cars.
they get them to dress head to toe Ferrari.
Dude, I don't know how they do it. I can't even get my wife to watch a football game with me.
Oh, no. You couldn't get them to watch a doc about some shit that they weren't interested in.
How about the sailboaters?
Oh, the boaters.
The sailboaters have the wives.
Yeah.
They got the Sperry's.
Yeah. The
Now, the
topsiders.
closest I've gotten, my son plays 8U travel baseball, and all the moms, they put on the colors.
Right.
So that's the closest I've gotten to
All
my
right,
wife.
that's something.
But it's always cute. It's not just, she has to, right now we're black and gold. It's a black and gold sweater. She'll mix it up.
But you couldn't do the Ferrari outfit.
It's not happening.
All right, here's speaking of that. I had we haven't done it in a while, but it's sort of this week in Chick Think, and I have a theory about Chick Think and how it's a next level
My favorite, by
kind
the
of
way.
Yeah,
thinking.
Steve,
Yeah.
very qualified.
Very qualified
talk
for
about
this.
this.
So we have a leader in the clubhouse, and that's Nithya Raman, councilwoman. And she can't, people are having trouble beating her because we'll play the clip, but she's engaging in deep chick thought here, which is somebody wants to address the sales of illegal catalytic converters being stolen from cars, and she has her own solution.
Instead of responding to it with work, with urgency, with focus on actually addressing the issue, we say, oh, we'll just ban it. We'll just ban it, and that'll be the end of it. Instead of actually thinking about what is going to address this issue in a very real way. In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car. And then the thefts related to this issue have essentially, all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to...
She's blaming Toyota for making it super easy.
It's a real person.
To steal something that's welded to the bottom of your car.
That's a real person.
That's a real person who, by the way, as I always point out, her policies aren't just about Priuses and catalytic converters. She makes all the policies in LA. So that 10-cent head is also going into the school system and gang prevention and everything else.
Why would you put it where it belongs? Why would you do that?
And make it so easy.
And it's super easy. All you need is an acetylene cutting torch and a wheel with a carborundum blade and 3 guys and a couple of jack stands and a hydraulic jack and about an hour and a half and some eye protection. That's all you need, and a mechanic's creeper. That's about it.
Yeah, but
super
why would
easy.
they do that?
Why would they weld it into the bottom of the middle of the car?
Solution. Put it in the car.
Put it in the glove box.
Put it in the glove box.
Yes.
That way they can sit in the front seat comfortably.
She's at the top of the leaderboard with crazy chick thing. She's angry at Toyota, not the criminals. Toyota. Right.
And not the people laying under the car stealing these things.
We also have Representative Linda Sanchez, Democrat. What? From California. What? There's no kooky ideas. She is trying to get into a whistleblower for the FBI. And
look at his face.
Yeah, unfortunately, his name is Marcus Allen.
She tries to trap him.
And she tries to trap him with some tweets he sent. So here we go.
Thank you. Mr. Allen, have you ever used Twitter, yes or no?
I have utilized Twitter, yes.
Okay, and is your account at Marcus A970-50645?
That is absolutely not my account.
Okay, that's not your account. Well, on December 5th, 2022.
Hold on, you got to stop it there. This gets you pretty high up on the Chick Think leaderboard because she's not going to let the fact that this isn't his account slow her down.
It's not his
She's
tweet.
She's got her questions loaded and locked, and she's moving forward, Steve.
So he's like, okay,
I'm
that's not
like,
even
is
me.
this real?
These people run California. This is
are
why
policymakers.
This is why California is a piece
Carolla,
of shit.
I have an issue with you, man. You took all my dates.
No, I haven't done a stand-up show in 4 years.
Well, here's the thing. I'm very upset. I mean, you're done. Conversation is over.
Not for her.
But she's like, fuck you. I wore this green coat
She's moving forward.
and I painted my mullet.
She painted her mullet.
That's pretty great.
All right, I want to hear her continue. Thank you, sir.
Not your account. Well, on December 5th, 2022, an account under the name Marcus Allen retweeted a tweet that said,
That
quote,
is not my account, ma'am.
you haven't let me finish the question,
Might have been
sir.
the football player.
You haven't let me finish the question. And the time is mine. On December 5th,
that's
2022, an
Chick Think.
account under the name of Marcus Allen
Yeah.
retweeted a tweet that said, quote, Nancy Pelosi staged January 6th, retweet if you agree, end quote. Do you agree with that statement? Yes or no?
That is, I don't. No, ma'am, that's not my account
It's not
at
her
all.
account.
I have
I'm
no
asking
idea.
whether you agree with that statement, yes or no?
Can you please rephrase the statement?
All right.
Do
So
you
she's
think that
gentle
Nancy
lady has
Pelosi
expired.
she's
staged-
pretty higher up. Pretty
It's like-
high up.
That's
It's
brutal.
like arguing with your wife.
Yeah.
I think she's worse than the theater.
No,
mom.
reality, truth, facts, things like that. Do not
don't matter.
slow. Once they're on a roll, it reminds me of Animal House, where John Belushi was like he was giving that inspirational speech, and he goes like, in 1921, when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, and someone went, he didn't bomb it. He went, he's on a roll.
Yeah, let him go.
Let him go.
Just let him go.
He's on a roll.
This is a real person.
This isn't just a real person who drives a school bus that helps the elderly go back and forth to the Y. This is a person who's making policy that affects everyone who lives in California.
But it's like petty high school discussion. This is what we're spending
Well,
our time on.
I have one
This
that may. And listen, Steve, we'll leave it up to you to crown a new winner. If in fact, no one's been able to beat the catalytic converter lady.
She's pretty good.
But she's pretty good. But I'll play you one I saw from yesterday. This is Special Counsel Robert Herr, who seems to be a very sober and accurate guy, and Representative Pramila Jayapal. And let's see if he can talk her out of her role.
So this lengthy, expensive, and independent investigation resulted in a complete exoneration of President Joe Biden. For every document you discussed in your report, you found insufficient evidence that the president violated any laws about possession or retention of classified materials. The primary law that you analyzed for potential prosecution was part of the Espionage Act, 18 U.S.C. 793E, which criminalizes willful retention or disclosure of national defense information. Is that correct?
Congresswoman, that is one statute that we analyzed. I need to go back and make sure that I take note of the word that you used, exoneration. That is not a word that
I'm
appears
going
in
to
the report,
continue
and
with
that's
my
not part of my
questions.
task as a
I'm going to
prosecutor.
continue with my questions.
The
I
judgment
know
that I
that the
received,
term.
that I ultimately reached
I
related
know
to
that the
whether
term.
sufficient evidence existed such that the likely
You didn't-
outcome
you
would be
exonerated
a
him.
conviction.
I know that
did
the
not
term
exonerate him.
willful
That word does not appear in
retention
the
has a.
report, Congresswoman.
Mr. Hur, it's my time.
That's the one.
that.
Adam, it's my time.
Yeah, it's my
This is my
time to
time.
keep
This is
talking
my time.
about nonsense and
This is my time.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be clear, this is my time.
It's a one-way conversation.
Don't fuck with the Asians.
No.
He knew
do
his
not.
stuff, dude.
Oh,
He had
do
it.
not
I mean,
fuck with the Asians.
Oh,
No.
He's like, I read that document 48
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I have it memorized. It's right
I'll
here.
tear
lady.
you a new
Yep.
ass in Japanese if I have
And
to.
every detail.
Every detail.
Every detail.
And she was like, your report exonerates him. And he's like, it
No,
does
no,
not.
no,
It
no.
is not in the report. We never said that word once. And she's like, I'm moving forward.
My time.
My time.
It's my time.
Yeah. So
I'm
we're
gonna start
put
using
the
that.
pressure on you, Steve. You got to pick a winner.
You know,
It's tough, right? These people are running the country, by the way. But here we go.
These are real humans. I got to go with the middle one, the jacket,
Linda Sanchez.
the hair,
Yeah.
Linda
Yeah.
Sanchez. I mean,
Yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah, because he said that's not my count, and she still powered forward.
that's insanity.
That's right.
That is clearly. Now, the other woman, nobody sat there and said, well, listen, this is why the catalytic converter is where it is.
Right.
And then had she continued,
Yeah.
then she's on the same level
Yeah.
of this dummy.
Right.
But the fact you go, I wasn't even there.
All right. It's true. There was
Corrected.
her premise was more insane, but she didn't have an official from the Toyota Motor Company explaining
rebuttal.
why.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even if they explained why, if she had continued, then she's as the level of this dipshit.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got Linda Sanchez, Democrat from California, going after Marcus Allen, Hall of Fame
I
running
like,
back.
I like that he goes, could have been the football player. I don't know. Well, do you agree with the football player?
I like he's trying to help her out.
Could have been somebody else. I don't know. Wasn't my account.
Oh, yeah. It says Jim Plunkett deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Is that you, Marcus Allen?
I mean, it's a little better than her going, well, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a plan. She had a plan. It exploded immediately. And she was like, well, I have this time. Let me see if I can trap this guy.
Well, to be fair, we got Robert De Niro on Bill Maher doing some chick think too. So, we should work cock and balls into this
Does it
equation
scare you to
every
be
once in a while.
famous too long?
Well,
That's part of it.
I have a theory. I have a theory, and it's coming to fruition, which is for the first 40 years of my life, Robert De Niro never said a word other than on film.
Right.
Like, he didn't do interviews. He didn't have podcasts. He wouldn't sit down
was
for
just
long
the
form.
Godfather.
He was a brilliant actor, and so everyone went, that guy's a genius. He's a genius. You see him in Taxi
He's so
Driver.
good.
Yeah, you see Goodfellas, Raging Bull. You just went, that guy's a genius. And they're two guys who didn't do a lot of interviews, and they didn't talk a lot. And that was good for them because they thought we were geniuses. The two guys we thought were geniuses were Bruce Springsteen and Robert De Niro. There's like those guys.
He's the boss.
He's the boss, and he's up there, and he's talking about closing down coal mines.
His
and his
songs
dad.
are great.
He's going out to the edge of town. It's
America.
awesome, and the lyrics are so well crafted and stuff. And then at some
And he was
point,
born in the USA.
he would sit down and talk for 20 minutes. You go, oh, this guy's a dipshit. And that's what happened to De Niro. They were, if you would have stopped anybody in America in 1997 and tapped him on the shoulder and run Robert De Niro, they'd go, genius. And then you'd go, Bruce Springsteen, genius. Now half of them are like, that dumb fuck, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
But he's so famous that somehow the publicist lost grip.
Yes. And I don't know why
He's like, no, they want to hear what I have to say.
he goes onto The View and acts like an hysterical middle-aged woman.
Okay, first of all, The View.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, De Niro, you're De Niro. Your answer to The View is what time's tape? 11 a.m. I'm still sleeping, bitch.
I do what I want, ladies.
I do what I want.
I mean, fellas.
Yeah, fellas.
Listen,
gal.
listen, that guy Whoopi.
Yeah.
I don't got time for you, sir.
We have a clip.
Whoopi's
I
got
think,
some good
somewhere.
chick think.
Oh, she's
got some real good
next level.
chick think.
Yeah, she's great.
She is on another level.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll play that De Niro clip from Mar. And we'll do that right after this. Home Chef, how's that New Year's resolution going? No time or patience to meal prep and grocery shop like you said you were going to do? Remember that conversation you had with yourself? Good news, Home Chef, fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Over 30 options a week covering a variety of dietary needs. I like the spicy Italian-style beef meatloaf because I'm spicy and I'm Italian myself, and this is so good. Classic kits with pre-portioned ingredients, speedy recipes, ready in less than 30 minutes, oven-ready kits with pre-chopped ingredients and microwave meals in minutes. Save an average of $86 a month on groceries. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 18 free meals. 18 free meals, plus free shipping on your first box and free dessert for life at homechef.com/Adam. That's homechef.com/Adam for the 18 free meals and free dessert for life. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert.
The Adam Carolla Show.
Trevino! Steve Trevino, the special. Steve Trevino, simple man, climbing the charts at Netflix as we speak.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's cool and it's exciting. I'll be honest with you, though. I don't know if I want to be famous.
Maybe a little late for that.
I got a great life.
I know.
Get paid. I
Yeah.
do. I make good money on the road. Mm-hmm. I walk through the airport, 1 out of 50. Mm-hmm. I go,
Yeah.
And I'm not famous enough yet for them to go, oh!
Yeah.
They just go, hey, man. They give me the point. Hey, good stuff.
You need to get,
no thanks, no thanks.
I think we need to put this to the test. Like, you need to get a DUI. And then we'll figure out whether you're famous or not.
Find out how famous I am.
Yeah, because we can settle this argument fast.
Well, People Magazine did an article on my wife, not even me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
in
they
there.
like the theme. I think
I
that's
think they
their
like
theme.
like the ladies, all the chick thinkers. Look,
Yeah, makes sense.
But you know what I mean? Are you, to me, you're famous. I grew up with you. How are you 1 in 50, 1 in 10 out on the streets?
I used to have a lot of, okay, it depends where I am. I went to a place called the Smokehouse in Toluca Lake, and I should get a job there as a greeter because every third person came up to me and wanted to say hi. But that was at the Smokehouse in Toluca Lake. But that was at that place, Then other demographics, other places. There's so many demographics now that you need to be like. I wouldn't if the third most popular soccer player in the world walked past me at LAX, I would not recognize that, And you talk F1, the guys who drive F1, Lewis Hamilton aside,
right?
Those guys could probably walk through,
and
they're the biggest stars in the world, internationally the biggest stars in the world. But I get the looks, I get the people that sometimes recognize my voice and like turn around because I was on radio for so long. I get it. It's not overwhelming. Everyone's pretty nice. And then I feel bad when we're getting on a Southwest flight and I'm on C boarding pass and they're
You're
like
just
8
there.
or 17 and they're just looking at me like, wow, what happened?
You did well.
Jesus,
I thought he did good.
So we have the De Niro
This
clip
is Robert
of him
De Niro on Mar.
On Mar. Okay, here it is.
The bottom line is it's Biden versus Trump. We want to live in a world that we want to live in and enjoy living in, or live in a nightmare. Vote for Trump, and you'll get the nightmare. Vote for Biden, and we'll be back to normalcy.
Right.
This is on Friday.
We'll be back to normal, except for he is the president. Biden. How do you go back to normal when he's been the president for 3 years, and then you already had Trump as the president,
and he's like, I'm 90.
Right.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yes.
At 90?
Yeah.
At 90.
So he wants to get back to what it would be like with Biden as president, except for Biden is already the president.
You want normalcy?
And then he's worried about a tyrannical dictator in Trump, except for Trump was the president and didn't lock anybody up. Everyone who says they're going to he didn't lock you up the first go round.
My question is,
oops, hit my glass. Sorry.
To the idea of the poor.
Mm-hmm.
How does this help the poor?
This discussion or Biden or
the whole Biden. The Democratic.
Listen to me, mijo.
I can't afford this.
Mijo.
You know what I mean, though.
I've said this a million times. I was at the gas station close to my house. Gas at the time was like $5.75 a gallon.
Good
right?
Lord.
I'm a rich guy and I got a hybrid and I'm fine.
Right, you do.
I'm looking at this Mexican guy. He's got a beat up Dodge Dually.
Trying to get to work.
He's coming home. The bed of the truck is filled with tree branches, and then he has a trailer on the back that is filled to the top with
9 miles to the gallon.
Maybe 9 miles to the gallon, and the guy lives in Sunland or Chatsworth or somewhere. He's nowhere near where I'm at.
Right.
This guy's got to drive into Pasadena. He's got to drive into Beverly Hills. He's got to drive to Santa Monica. He's got to drive to the good neighborhoods.
To go back to his...
He does not live down the street in Beverly Hills or Encino. He lives in deep Sun Valley and San Fernando, and he's got a lot of trucking. And that $5.75 a gallon at $9, that is kicking the shit out of that guy.
Killing him. I mean, literally killing him.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a $100 a day.
Yeah, for where he has to go, what he has to do. Yeah.
And then on top of that, he gets there and he goes, hey, here's how much it costs for me to come trim your trees. And they go, I'll go get the other guy.
Right. And all the pussies who are working from home go, why does this guy get an electric truck?
I mean, come on.
Get an electric truck, Jose. It's only $67,000.
And buy $4,000 to set up your charging station.
Right.
At your house that you're renting.
Well, the Mexican's got a brother-in-law as electrician. I mean, let's be honest. He's not paying market rate for that.
He's not certified.
Well, he's not certified.
He can do it. No, he can do it.
He can do it. He can bend conduit.
He knows how to do it. Like, when they whistle.
Yeah,
that's how you know. Yeah.
You're not above board.
Hey, how's the kitchen coming? Like, oh, that's
hey,
nice.
Jose, you pulling wire through that conduit?
Hey, no, hombre, it's easy. I mean, see,
I saw some exposed Romex hanging out through the ceiling. My dog was chewing on it.
No, don't worry about that. No,
all right, so we got a 4-gang box by the door, and then 2-gang. Are you using ground fault interrupts around the water, around the sink there? It's
I got it from another job. I put it in here. It's rated.
Rated?
Not rated. No.
Who rated it?
And I added it to the mira ahí in your breaker box. I just added it to a breaker.
Yeah.
You're only pulling 30. It's a 60 amp.
I told you I needed a 200 amp panel, and then you took a 70 amp and duct taped it to the top of my 130 amp system.
No, wait.
Okay.
No, don't worry about it. You have insurance.
Yeah, you're using a lot of the flex on your truck. Looked like it was pulled out of another house.
The thing is, they're trying to be safe. That's safe. There's a lot of room. That's safe. No, that's plenty.
Okay,
it's only pulling 48. You got 50.
You put the dishwasher, the air compressor, the generator, and the toaster oven all on one 10 amp circuit.
No, just play one at a time. You just have to play one at a time.
I saw that we blew out a circuit and you put tinfoil in there instead of fixing the breaker, Jose.
And a wire hanger.
Yeah, wire hanger. You can't whistle every problem away.
No, con a wire hanger, it'll boom.
Yeah.
It'll boom.
I love
the whistle.
I love the whistle.
It can be anything.
I didn't realize that the whistle
when you hear the whistle,
anything.
That's how they know.
Hey, we getting drunk tonight?
Yeah.
That means yes.
So, yeah, the guy's getting kicked in the ass is, like I said, I went to El Pollo Loco the other day. I bought 2 pieces of chicken and a side of vegetables. My son got a chicken bowl, $25.
Yeah.
I was like, 20, no drinks. Yeah. No drinks. Just $25. I was like, if that guy's driving that gardening truck, brought his family of 6 in there, he's getting out of there for $115.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
But how does that help them?
It doesn't help them at all. Well, it helps Robert De Niro because he doesn't live in that world. He doesn't see it.
That's it's scary to be famous that long.
Yes.
You're so out of touch with your maids and your assistants
yes.
I guarantee you that man has never bought anything in the past 30 years where he had to look at the price.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You want a car? Just get it.
Yeah.
We're going to buy you another house. Yeah, just buy it.
No, I know. Everyone should get an electric car and have a Tesla battery wall in their house.
Our country has become so great that these cul-de-sac kids are creating problems for themselves.
Yeah. Keep going.
But you know what I'm saying? They live this beautiful cul-de-sac life and go, I need to stick up for the blacks and the Mexicans and, I feel bad. And it's like, no, you were just here longer.
Right.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, yeah.
My parents are immigrants.
Yeah.
My grandfather came from Mexico, 9 kids, couldn't speak a lick of English. Mm-hmm. All my aunts and uncles have a great life.
Yeah.
Most of my cousins, college educated, doing great. 2 generations.
All you have to do is work.
Just show up.
You're fine.
Half the battle's showing up.
Yeah.
But you have these white kids that are just in this, I have to feel sorry for everybody.
Well, also what they do is they hurt people because they go, they shouldn't have to learn to speak English. And you're like, they should be bilingual teachers and stuff. And you go, if you don't learn to speak the language, you ain't going nowhere.
It's trouble, man.
In any country you're in,
I tell people,
ever.
thank God for
learn
Texas.
That. Yeah.
Because my mom and her sisters and brothers came here speaking Spanish. Mm-hmm. They all speak perfect English. Because in Texas, when they got to school, they were like, no. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And now, because they were forced to figure it out, I don't have to go to my mom's doctor's appointments.
Right. And translate.
Right. She handles her own stuff.
Right. I mean, you're hurting the people you're trying to help by what you're trying to do to help them.
Right. I mean, when I lived in California and you would call the electric company, the first words out of the electric company's mouth was, if you need assistance.
Right.
That's the first thing.
Right.
We're going to start with assistance.
Yeah.
I got hit up on, my podcast. I was talking about, I'm tired of these young people saying they can't buy a house. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't buy a house. No, you can't buy your parents' house.
Right.
Well, then, so they hit me up. This guy got upset. He goes, well, why should I have to leave San Diego to go buy a house? Well, number one, you don't have to.
Right.
Buy a fixer-upper.
Right.
Figure it out. Sell it. Buy another one. Sell it. Buy another one.
Yeah.
Or guess what? You can move to Phoenix. Great town.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's got great cities.
Yeah.
Texas, Omaha. We've been to all the cities. People are living good.
Yeah.
But why should I have to leave San Diego?
Now, there's a microcosm version of that, which is back in the day, everyone who lived on the west side was like, I want a house. They rented on the west side. And they'd go, I want a house. I want to own a house, but I don't want to have to move to North Hollywood, And I'd go, well, you can't own a house on the west side because it's too expensive, but you can buy something in North Hollywood, fix it up, get a little equity. You're going to have to go over the hill back and forth. And then 6 years from now, you could sell it, get a little extra profit, and go back and buy something on the west side. And they never would because they're like, I love it here,
I want to stay
and
here.
I don't want to move there. And it's like the reason you love it here is also the same reason the houses are so goddamn expensive
That's
here.
why.
And that's why. So
San Diego's badass.
I'll tell you though, man, the Hispanics, the Latinx,
the Latinx,
the people. Jose was my electrician. And Jose would always bring, he would bring his little son, and start about age 11 or 12 on the job, was showing him, and he'd call him the bodo de queso because he was a fat kid, because they just call you fat.
Yeah, when you're Mexican, you get whatever you are.
Not a nuanced culture. Whatever you are, that's what they call it.
I had a cousin that had the hook arm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about, the little baby hook arm?
Oh, yeah.
They called him right hook.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Gancho derecho.
On the nose, bodo de queso, fat kid. He used to come work on my house as I was renovating houses, doing stuff like you and your wife. And he bought a house in deep Sun Valley, deep, San Fernando, places the gringo does not want to live. But he bought this house 20 years ago, probably 25 years ago. He paid like $110,000 for it, Right. But he was fixing it up because he knew the electrician and he was stucco and all those things. Handy dude. He was skipping the pay. And every time I would see him, because I would say to him, Jose, you just got to get something, get started, get some equity. You got to get in the game. Right. You know what I mean? If you're renting, you're not in the game.
You're never in the game.
And you're nothing to pass down to the bodo de queso who's probably going to die of diabetes before you're 40. But you got to pass it down. You got to get in. You got to generational wealth, And he saw I was buying houses and the stuff I was doing. And I would talk to that guy every couple of years. He'd come by. And he called me boss or jefe or maestro, which I always enjoy.
Puto.
Puto. And he'd go, the house. Yeah, I go, yeah, remember I told you, buy the house. He goes, I just checked. is worth $340,000 on Zillow. I just checked. It's $340. I bought it for $115. You know,
Right.
and I'd go like, good.
That's the
good.
point.
And then the next time I'd see him, he'd tell me it's up to $485. Because I'd see him 2 years later, and it would just keep going up. And he would
It's like a
beam.
game show.
He would beam.
$500,000.
And he'd be like, Hefe, thank you for telling me to do it. And it's like, yes, that's what you need to do.
Well, I mean,
And
you know-
now he can sell it and move to Encino.
Right. Well, see, I'm very proud of the Mexican. I'm Mexican descent. They never complain. They always show up and go to work. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't ask for shit.
Right.
They take pride in their job.
Yep.
But it's that, and I don't know what it is. And thank you for teaching him that. But I don't know what it is about the Mexican people where you go, you already work in a kitchen and you're really good at it.
Right.
Go get a restaurant.
Right.
Go be a business owner.
Yep.
And there's a disconnect somewhere in the Latin culture where it's like, you are the hardest worker,
Yeah.
but you already know how to do that. Stop
Yeah.
working for somebody else and do it yourself.
They don't think to go to that next level.
Right. Or you got somebody like my dad who's like, no cash, pay cash.
Right.
Everything's cash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, I'm going to go buy another house. Pay it off. I'm like,
Right.
why would I do that?
Yeah.
I'll just use the bank's money.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want debt. Dude, debt is my friend.
Yeah.
I own the equity. I don't own the house.
Yeah. It's the entrepreneurial spirit.
And they don't have it. Because the Jewish people come here, the Indian people
Yeah.
all move into one house.
Oh, my God. Yes.
And they help each other.
Armenian.
Oh, they're all
they
over it.
all network. Wait,
all network.
entrepreneurial in Spanish must sound almost exactly the same as entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. I don't even know if I can do that.
See, you don't
word.
have a word
I don't
for
even know-
it. You don't even have a word.
Google
That's the problem.
Google entrepreneurial in Spanish.
I guarantee it's entrepreneurial.
Dude, if
or
it comes
something.
back as it's just a whistle.
De emprendedor. De emprendedor.
Emprendedor. But the fact that I bet your
Emprendedor.
dad doesn't know that word.
No.
And that's his native language, right?
And don't get me wrong, my dad has a great life and saved money for retirement and paid off his house early and never had debt. And it's a good way to live, right?
Yeah.
Never bothered anybody, right? Good way to live. But he freaks out with me because I'm always doing something. He's like, well, how did you get that? And I go,
Yeah.
I asked the bank for it.
Yeah. I come from poor white people, and they do the same thing.
Yeah, the same attitude.
They're downtrodden. What if, when I bought my first house, like, what if the show doesn't get picked up? What if you get canceled? What if, they're constantly
So I sell the house.
That's what I said. So I sell the house, and I make a little extra cash,
Yep.
and
And
they're like,
figure it
well,
out.
but what if, I remember once I said, you know what, I'm going to keep this house. I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to buy a second house. And they're like, what if a bunch of drug-addled bikers move in? And I'm like, I'm not going to rent it to Hell's Angels, Mom. Like, they're constantly. I was just thinking back on this.
They're going to ruin your house.
I spent $18,000 or $20,000 on a car a million years ago. And when I pulled up and I showed my mom my car, and she said, it was like $20,000 for a car. What are you thinking about? Like, that's how you think. I always said, don't be in save a nickel mode. Be in make a dollar mode.
Yep.
My whole family never got out of save a nickel mode. Everything was how to save. Wasn't ever how to earn.
I spend money first, and then I pay my taxes.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
Yes.
I don't pay my taxes and then spend the money. I spend the money first, and then
It motivates you.
Man, I own the shirt company I'm wearing here.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Prestige Auto that we're into, and my wife was like, okay. I'm at the point now with my wife where she trusts me.
Mm-hmm.
When we first got together, she's like, you're going to do what?
Yeah.
That's all our money.
Right.
And I'm like, well, we'll make more.
Right.
And she would get scared, and
Now she trusts you.
Yeah, now she's like,
even though
yeah.
you're banging her sister on the side.
Her sister's pretty hot.
Yeah, financially,
It's
she trusts
pretty
it.
hot,
Yeah, I had this story that's sort of like this. I bought this house from 1923 up in the hills. I bought it. I owed the IRS $5,000 from when I was poor. I paid them off. I started saving money when I got into radio. And the second I got enough for a down payment, I bought this house.
It's a smash, all of it.
Yeah, $350,000, super fixer-upper, under the Hollywood sign. And it was such a fixer-upper. It was torn down so badly. One of the most depressing moments I had is as Jimmy Kimmel met me for lunch. I said, I don't know, he was doing Ben Stein's money or something. I can't remember what he's doing, but I said, at lunch, just come by the new house and then I'll take you out to lunch. And he came walking up about noon on a Wednesday, and he looked around, and the place was just torn down to the studs, you know. And he literally, like from the mouth of babes, he goes, wouldn't it be easier just to tear it all the way down? And I was like, does it look that bad? He's like, well, it would be faster if you just
get rid
take a,
just go
stick
piece
a
by
dynamite
piece
to
here.
this place or burn it to the ground and collect the insurance, you know? And I was like, so I got to the very end of the house. It took a lot longer, more expensive. The house was like $350. I don't know, it's probably 150 into it. And I bought it the second I had the money. So I didn't have a bunch set aside to renovate.
I'll
I
figure
got
that
to
out
the
later.
very end, and I was completely out of money. And all we needed was the appliances in the kitchen. And I remember going Sub-Zero, Viking, I want the good shit.
Right.
Back in the day, because back in the day, it was avocado-colored Kenmore
Remember
or
those?
white Westinghouse or something. I didn't want junk in my kitchen.
And they didn't stop working.
And they'd go, well, you don't have any more money, and that shit's really expensive.
It's like 30 grand.
And you're out of money, so you got to go with the cheap shit. And I said, I don't want to put the cheap shit in, have my TV shows picked up, and 2 years from now have to tear it out.
Anyway.
I'm going with the expensive shit, and they have a plan where you can do it on, like, credit. You can order all the Viking shit,
Carolla's
the
at
Sub-Zeros shit.
Rent-A-Center.
Yeah, I am. And I said, whatever it is, let's get it, and we'll put that in.
You're
and,
right.
You know, but it motivated me to do more work and to be more motivated.
And you stay fired up.
And I had what I wanted in my kitchen.
You have to. And I mean, I had this beautiful plan when we moved back to Texas because the houses were so cheap. So I told my wife, I said, okay, we're moving into a fixer-upper. We're going to live there, fix it up, rent it, move to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that 5 times. I only did it 3. But still, it set me up.
Yeah.
You know, and there has to be some humility. You know, some of my country singer friends that live in that town, they'd come over and be like, man, Trevino, I thought you were doing better than this.
Right.
And I'd be like, well, I mean, you know, I got a plan, dude. You know? And now those rental properties, I've had them for 10 years. The equity in them is through the roof.
Yeah.
And my life's great.
Yeah.
But if you can get people to think, every time I have somebody, I don't know if you're like this, but if I have a young guy that's working at my house and they are polite and they're hardworking, I always pull them aside. And I go, can I talk to you? And I kind of give them a little speech, like, man, you're young. Do this, 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 and this.
Right.
To just try to give them that little, you know, I keep silver coins and I give them to them as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, this represents the market.
Mm-hmm.
This silver piece. I go back 20 years. You know, the value of this was much cheaper, but if you hold on to it, I go, that's the market. And I give it to them as a gift. Something that they can hold on to and go, oh, I get it. Right? Because, if I think both of us, if I was putting the money I was making a long time ago into IRAs, and I mean, you look at when I graduated high school, fucking Apple was $3.
Yeah. I know.
If my dad would have said, hey, for graduation, here's $1,000 worth of Apple stock.
Your dad got you a soft taco.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, I've lived here my entire life. God forbid, I mean, when my family has been here. And I mean, literally, my grandmother would tell me stories about going down Sunset Boulevard and there was chicken coops and
dirt roads.
Going down Wilshire Boulevard and there were bean fields everywhere, all the way to the ocean. And Ventura Boulevard had nothing, you know. And I was like, God forbid one of you assholes buy one fucking piece of land somewhere around Ventura
Nobody made a
Boulevard.
move.
There's a lot
Not
of it.
one person. Not one of you thought maybe we could own a parcel of something
A quarter acre.
somewhere in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard. Not a one of you had that thought. Nope, we did not.
Well, look, this is nice.
All right, what's next in the news, sir?
Well, so Don Lemon, you've been talking about him for a while, especially after
Chick think. A lot of chick
a
think.
lot of chick thing.
Yes.
After he was fired from CNN, you would always say,
he's not coming back.
in any capacity.
Here's what it is. I separate people into people who have thoughts and who have thoughts other people want to hear. And then there's the people that had the job. And so the had the job is like, the host from The Bachelor, whatever his name was.
See?
Yeah, there you go.
What was his name?
That's
I
my
don't know.
point.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. And I said, "Oh, he's gone," and he's gone. He's not coming back.
not
You know,
happening.
if they canceled Ryan Seacrest today, you'd never hear another word from that idiot. He'd be gone because he doesn't have anything to say.
He'd be that. Remember that guy?
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's not good at hosting, but what I'm saying is we don't need him.
Right.
And so when Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon essentially got fired on the same day, and everyone's like, what are these two titans going to be
Now
up
what?
to next? I was
Yeah.
like, you'll hear from Tucker Carlson again. You're not going to hear from Don Lemon again because he has a 10-cent head.
Right.
Yeah, and he just reads the monitor.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything or do anything.
We were very surprised when Don Lemon announced that he was going to have a show on X along like where Tucker landed, and Tucker welcomed him. Everyone was talking about how that's where he was going to end up, and
to be fair, I'm not saying there is no second act. I'm saying it fizzles in fades. That's what I'm saying. He's going to end up somewhere, and we're going to hear what he really has to say, and we're not going to care.
Because he was really famous for Chick Think.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So his special was supposed to debut on Monday, and his first episode was going to be Elon Musk. He had a sit-down interview with
Right.
Elon, and it was just announced that Don Lemon was fired again from X. Elon canceled the partnership with Don Lemon after the sit-down interview, and according to sources, like Elon basically said this interview is JV. Like I sat there, there wasn't really a crew. It was like Don's fiance was running it. His questions weren't good. He didn't really have anything to say.
Yeah. So so this is interesting because I think a lot of people would say, "Oh, Elon, you're for free speech," and then they think Don offended him or asked him some tough questions. I feel like Elon is savvy enough and sort of consistent enough to know the difference between a bad interview and a tough interview. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's never shied away from tough interviews.
That's my whole point. Like I do know, I don't know Elon well, but I know like Tucker well. And Tucker, if he sat down with somebody and they sparred a little bit, he would have respect for the person,
Right.
or he could see the skill in the person. Like what I mean is, I say spar and I mean literally. Like if you were training for a fight and you brought a guy into your camp and you fired him, it wouldn't be because he was good.
Right.
It's because he was
You're not
bad.
helping me.
You want him to be good
yeah.
because you want him to help you.
You're not helping me.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
trying to prepare, and you suck.
I would assume that's why he got rid of him.
Well, Don thought the interview went great. He's like, look, we talked
Of
about
course he
everything
did.
from SpaceX to the presidential election. We had a good conversation. I don't know why he felt it differently, but then Musk tweeted, Don's approach is basically just CNN, but on social media, which doesn't work, as evidenced by the fact that CNN is dying.
Well, I'll tell you, Steve knows this as good as anybody. You will be outed as a bad interviewer almost immediately when you're bad at it. It is so weirdly... It's such a tell. You've been interviewed by bad radio guys 1,000 times.
How long have you been wanting to do comedy?
Right.
When did you figure that out?
Right,
I mean,
right.
It's just like, what are we doing?
Right, and yeah, I did a little radio this morning. Some of it's technical, like he's got a new book out, in 50 years
Right.
we'll all be chicks. Like, that book's 14 years old. I did drop one 9 months ago.
Right, that one's there too.
And then there are 5 in between those, but you're going back to this. Like some of it's just technical, and some of it is, so who's funny? And why do we need comedy? You know, and you realize, oh, they're not that skilled at
having
what
a
they
conversation.
do. At having a conversation. Yeah. Right. So maybe Tucker figured that. Oh, sorry. Maybe Elon figured that one out. I don't think it would be because he was asking the tough questions and kind of having a little tete-a-tete with him. You know, I don't think it would be that.
But it must have been really bad if Elon just
But
like,
how
"You
long?
can't hear this."
How long? I mean, do you think the networks are worried? Because how long with the
Can they
internet?
keep it up?
Yeah, and with the internet and everything being free and accessible now, can they? I mean, when's the last time you sat down and watched a sitcom?
Right.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
And if I do watch a network, it's because I'm watching live sports.
Right.
I don't remember the last time my wife and I were like, "Ooh, let's
Right.
watch this show."
Yeah.
And if you want it, the Yellowstone thing was going on. My wife goes, well, we don't have Paramount. I go, then I'll just go to Prime
Yeah.
and just buy the series.
Yeah, I would be like, put on this F1 outfit, and we're watching Drive to Survive on Netflix, and we're binging the entire thing, and
you
she'd
sit
go,
down
fuck
and
you.
you shut up.
That's right.
You watch. But I mean, there's got to be a point with all the successful podcasts, with Tucker going to X.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all getting our news on the phone.
Yeah,
I find out stuff on TikTok before it hits the news.
I think it's a reconfiguration. It's going to be a new world order. There's always going to be, it'll probably be like terrestrial radio, which is, it still exists. There are some people that are still successful at it, but it's not what it was in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. I mean, when I started in radio, if you did the morning show on a popular station, you were the king of the city.
Yes.
You could literally draw more to an arena than a rock star could if you had an event.
When I was working in Dallas at the Improv, it was my job to take the comics to the radio. And it was like, oh, if I'm taking them to do a morning show, get the phones ready.
Right.
Because he's going to sell out every ticket.
Right.
And now they're like, Steve, you want to do radio? And I'm like,
right.
Yeah. Do I get to call in?
Need to?
Yeah. Do I have to leave my room?
Because it's different.
It's different. So I think it'll be that. It exists. There's still some guys that get paid, but it's not what it was. All right. We need to take a break. Tim Blake Nelson, an actor you would definitely know, is going to be on in a second. We'll give Steve a plug here. Watch the special. It's very good. Steve is very good. And it's on Netflix. Steve Trevino, Simple Man, and a podcast, Steve Trevino and Captain Evil. I think that's his nickname for his wife.
Yep.
You can check that out wherever you find finer podcasts. Steve, congrats on the success.
Yeah,
you come back anytime you like.
Well, I love hanging out with you guys, and you make me feel broke in your studio, but
we love talking to you. And if you just get out there and mow the lawn, that'd be awesome. All right, Steve, we'll take a break. Tim Blake Nelson is in studio right after this. Let me tell you about Simply Safe. According to FBI data, most home break-ins happen in broad daylight. As days get longer, that's what we just did. We sprung back? No, we sprung forward. The point is the days are longer. Protect your home with Simply Safe. It's a great product. I tell you, we all use it here. They've been sponsors for a million years. Batteries last up to 10 years. Sleek, ergonomic, easy to set up. Named Best Home Security System of 2024 by U.S. News and World Report. Best customer service according to Newsweek. 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Half the cost of traditional home security. No long-term contracts. 60-day risk-free trial. If you don't love your system, return it for a full refund. Protect your home today. And my listeners get 20% off any new Simply Safe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit Simply Safe, 2 I's, simplysafe.com/Adam. That is simplysafe.com/Adam.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Tim Blake Nelson's birthday cocktail party for May 11th. Let's see who's invited. Let's welcome the first woman in the U.S. to receive a pilot certificate and to cross the English Channel, aviator Harriet Quimby. The composer and lyricist behind some of the greatest songs in history, like God Bless America and White Christmas, Irving Berlin. Here's Spanish surrealist artist, Salvador Dali. From the Dukes of Hazzard and the Andy Griffith Show, Denver Pyle just walked in. It's stuntman Bud Akins. Here's the leader of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan. Rock and roller from the Animals and War, vocalist Eric Burden. Here comes the drummer from the Allman Brothers, Butch Trucks. From the Beat Farmers, it's Country Dick Montana. MTV's Martha Quinn just showed up. Actress Natasha Richardson. Here's a pair of Heisman Trophy winners, Cam Newton and Matt Leinart. Tim Blake Nelson is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Butch Truck sounds like a lesbian bar.
It does.
That's a good name for a drummer, though. Tim Blake Nelson in studio. We'll talk all about what he's doing. You know him. I would say most recognizable for me would be Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But Incredible Hulk, Meet the Fockers, Minority Report, Lincoln, Just Mercy, Holes, and now Asleep in My Palm. It's available in select theaters and digitally March 19th on streaming. It's coming in, I should say streaming April 19th. That's right. And a robust 89% with critics on Rotten Tomatoes as we speak, which is tough to do. So congratulations.
Yeah, I'm all credit to my son, Henry Nelson, who wrote and directed it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. How old is your son?
He's 25.
That's pull the mic up or get
He's
get tight
25
there.
years old.
Wow. It's got to be nice.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of it and very proud to be a part of it. And somehow we got this thing made. It's a low budget art film, but I think it has a much wider appeal than that, and I recommend folks see it.
And who wrote it?
Henry.
Oh, so he wrote and directed.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's. Do you think he has it?
I do. I was talking with this director friend of mine yesterday, Miguel Arteta, who made a movie called The Good Girl and another movie called Chuck and Buck, both really wonderful films, and has been a collaborator with Mike White a lot. And he was talking about a professor of his who said that what's most important is that you're able to share a singular vision, a vision that can only be yours, a voice that can only be yours, and that it's unadulterated, and that the approach isn't cynical or pandering, and then you have real authorship over a movie. And if that happens to appeal to other people, then you're in clover, and I think that my boy does have that. There's nobody else who could have written and directed this movie but him.
That's nice. And it's also, I think, as an artist and someone who's been in the business for as long as you've been in the business, you can be objective and sort of stand back and go, if I watched this movie and I didn't know who wrote it or directed it, I would think that person was skilled at writing and directing.
I absolutely would have been. But of course, I love my son. I love all three of my sons. We have three boys. And just to make sure, I said to my representatives, the people who sometimes help me make decisions, if this came to me as an offer and I said, I want to do it, would you recommend that I do it? And they said unanimously, absolutely, you go do this role.
And so I don't think you're doing you wouldn't be doing your kid any favors if he was really bad at MMA, encouraging him to get into the octagon again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a tough sport and you're going to get your ass kicked. And writing, directing, it's a low percentage job. It's a tough sport. And if you don't have it, then in a way, you're a bad parent for encouraging your kid to do it.
That's absolutely true. And I often would say to him, he'd say, do I have, do you think I'm skilled at this? I said, Henry, that's his name, Henry Nelson. I said, I'm not cruel.
Right.
I love my boys. And why would I encourage you to enter a profession that is so inimical and so unforgiving? And that is going to, no matter how well you do in it and no matter how well your material performs, you're going to face more rejection than success. And I wouldn't encourage that if I didn't think that ultimately you're going to have some victories here.
I gave my son the same speech, but it was just about women. I was thinking about telling him to pack it in early. You're a Carolla. Come on. It's going to be a life of frustration. There's you porn, and, you can get by now.
Well,
nowadays.
It's a good time for that. Yeah,
it's a good time.
It's a good time to be an incel.
Look inward. Look inward, bro.
Did your son write this part for you?
Initially, he wrote it for one of his professors because he was still in college. He was at Oberlin College, which is where the film takes place. And it started with a 5-page monologue, this guy telling a story to his daughter. And I said, Henry, that kind of thing is really hard to do. I don't think that a music professor is going to be able to do that, nor is he going to have the time it takes to learn something like this in a way that can feel lived in and where the character is actually surprising.
Look at your campaigning
himself.
already.
Yeah. I'm what?
You're campaigning to take the role. It's like,
yeah,
a music professor, it's too much for him.
These guys are hacks.
Yeah.
You want to know something about an oboe, we'll talk to the professor, but I'm an actor.
So he said, well, why don't you play it? And I said, yeah, I actually think I think I want to do that. And I had never, nor still, I've never paid. I said, Henry, I'm not going to be one of these dads. And my wife, his mother, agreed. We weren't going to pay for anything in terms of his stuff getting made. I said, you're an undergraduate and you need to be using a shopping cart as a dolly and use a he had a Sony A7S, which is a consumer camera that also has a good digital sensor on it. I said, shoot your stuff on that. So I said, all right, I'm going to sign on and do this, but now we got to go raise money. And the guys who financed Old Henry, Potsy Ponceroli and Shannon Houchins, they came through and financed the movie at a very low budget, but it was enough, and we got to go make it the way we wanted to make it.
What do you like, since you're such a student of the game? I love the Coen brothers. I know you work with the Coen brothers. I was watching No Country for Old Men the other day, and it's one of the handful of movies that if I ever stumble onto it, I just stay with it because I always want to see the next scene. And I have a handful of my tops, but what do you like?
In terms of the Coens?
No, not just in terms of Coens. I'll open it up to anything, but you have to pick films we've heard of.
Yeah.
If you go too deep, then you'll lose us.
Right. Well, often with me, it's what I've seen most recently because I'm such an overwhelmed enthusi that I'm just blown away by what's most recent. And
well, maybe the Academy Awards. Is there stuff that was nominated that you like?
I liked Zone of Interest a lot. I thought
that's one of the only ones I hadn't seen, so I should see that. Right?
I liked Anatomy of a Fall. I thought that was really strong. But every one of those movies had something to recommend it. I mean, the technically and just in terms of the scope of it, you can't argue with Oppenheimer. Paul Giamatti's performance in The Holdovers. I love Alexander Payne's movies and the career he's had. So there's not a movie in there that I'm sorry to be so politic, but I'm actually not being politic. I'm an enthusiast. I love watching movies. A recent one I watched, which, I don't know, maybe some people have heard of, The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. Do you know that movie?
No, but where can we find it?
Find it on the Criterion channel, which is just such a gift. That's a subscription channel, but it pretty much has every great film in the history of cinema on it. You know it?
No.
But it's Cassavetes' movie with, there we go, with Ben Gazzara.
Ben Gazzara, yeah.
Playing a character named Cosmo Vitelli.
From the 80s or?
Yeah, and it bombed in the theaters. I think it was out 1 week.
The Killing of a Chinese Bookie.
Now it's being revisited, and just his performance alone is extraordinary. And it's a simple story. It's a guy who runs and owns a strip club, but he's a gambler. He's addicted to gambling, and just as he gets out of debt, he then ends up in debt again on the very eve of digging himself out. And his debtors say, "You got to go kill this bookie in downtown L.A." And so the movie is about him going to do that and what ends up happening.
What's it at on Rotten Tomatoes? Because you're
79%.
That's solid.
With the critics, 83% with the audience.
That's very, very solid. Yeah, I realized that I got sucked in, or not sucked in, but I watched Dune 2 the other day, and I found myself going, oh, I don't care. I found myself wanting to see No Country for Old Men again, especially when Josh Brolin hit the stage with Javier Bardem and Dune. They came together. I was they remind me of a movie I would rather watch than
You're
this.
hoping Woody Harrelson would just somehow find his way on
and it's good. I'm sure it's good, a good movie. But I found myself just going, I want to see Saving Private Ryan. I'm all the so huge stuff. It's losing me. I get sucked into it. Like I go, oh, this is big. This got tons of effects. This is over the top. And then I find myself not really enjoying it like I do smaller scale films.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Denis Villeneuve fan, and I was in Dune 2 and then cut out of it.
That's why I said fuck that.
But no hard feelings there. I love him and the spectacle of it. But of course, you want to be in the mood for that.
I just realized it's a good piece of work that I realize is not my sport. But I think it is.
You should see the first one before.
I got to see the first one. No, even if I knew what was going on, which would help, it's almost too big.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
It's like I want to follow Tom Hanks around Normandy. You know, I just want to find somebody and follow them around.
A little more
feels too
intimate.
big.
You need something a little more.
Yeah,
intimate.
well, the battle sequences in Saving Private Ryan are pretty much as good as
oh my
cinema
God
gets. And that's Steven. He's a completist. He understands every single aspect of filmmaking. He could have been the DP. He could have done sound. He knows every part of how to make a movie, and I don't think, except for maybe Close Encounters, I don't think it ever gets better with him than Saving Private Ryan in terms of every single aspect of the filmmaking coming together at such an extraordinary level. It's unbelievable. The two sequences, the storming of the beach and then the protecting the town, the bridge.
Incredible, with the whole sticky sock bomb and saving the bridge and blowing up the bridge and tell me I'm a good man.
Yeah,
at the end. That's
yeah,
so brilliant.
It's so hard on that scale to get geography right. Mm-hmm. And the staging and the editing and where you're going to put the camera and what lenses to use. And we don't think about it when we're seeing a film, but you are never lost in terms of where you are in those battle sequences.
No, it's amazing.
Even while it's all so intimate.
Yes.
And to have the juxtaposition of scope, grandeur, and intimacy is breathtaking.
And also, there's a lot of movies where something happens and then you go, oh, come on, he would never do that, or I would never say that, or something like that. And that movie, you had Tom Hanks at his mission, which is Find Private Ryan, but you understood why his guys were like, we've lost 3 guys trying to find one guy. Like, why is this a good idea? I mean, they weren't wrong, or however many guys they lost, but some of his troops were questioning why they needed to risk their lives and why they've given their lives for this thing. And then you as a viewer were sort of sitting there going, well, if I was Capazzo or whoever, I might be saying, why are we doing this too?
Yeah, there's a moral engine at the center of it. It's a movie about a lot more than the good guys and the bad guys or taking a bridge or what have you. And that's what Steven is great at, is he'll make a movie like Lincoln or even Minority Report, and there's something you're going to follow that's incredibly exciting, but there's a philosophical underpinning to it that is not only inescapable, but draws you in and makes the stakes even more important.
I think sometimes I'm guilty because his commercial success is so amazing to I don't know if the word is underrate, but I always think of these Albert Brooks, I'm like, Albert Brooks. I love Albert Brooks movies, that kind of stuff. But he's Disneyland Spielberg. It's so big, and he's done so much and had so much success that sometimes, like a band, when a band sells 10 million records, they stop being indie or cool or something like that. And sometimes I think I'm guilty of thinking that way with Spielberg.
Well, that's perfectly fair because he's had tremendous success commercially, and I think Steven will often hopscotch, and he'll do a big movie like Jurassic Park, and then he'll do something like Lincoln or Amistad or Color Purple, and then he'll do Raiders of the Lost Ark. He did Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But I don't think there's anyone who has more total command just on a technical basis of the medium than Steven.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the guy started out in the early 70s with maybe Duel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of his
And he directed
earliest
television, too.
Yeah, well, Duel was TV, I think. I think it was a TV movie.
A TV movie, yeah.
But you can see it's a very simple story, but it works. Like you can tell the skill. He was probably 23 or something, but the skill in it was like there. Like it was riveting stuff, even though it was really just about some guy in a diesel truck who was going after, oh, God, I've got to think of Dennis Weaver.
Yeah, I was going to say it was Dennis Weaver.
Dennis Weaver.
Venture that, and then I thought, I may be wrong.
Yeah,
but it was Dennis Weaver.
And he must have, I don't know if he was still at USC when he did Duel. And I was back when they would do TV movies that were sort of, I guess they still do them now in a different way. Maybe it's Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but now TV movies aren't TV. I mean, they're real. Often it's real films. Henry and I are lucky that his movie is actually showing in theaters for a month before it's on streaming. But most people are going to see it as a streamer, and that's on. The TVs are much better now. When I was growing up, obviously it was a tube TV, and you didn't even have the aspect ratio. It was crunched. They cropped it because they couldn't letterbox, or they wouldn't.
What was your TV growing up?
That I watched?
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty prohibited in our home, but when we were able to sneak it, I liked Beretta.
Oh, yeah.
Mannix. Canon,
yeah.
And they used to have to lift him. He was so heavy. I can't remember the actor's name.
Robert Conrad.
Oh, is that right?
I think it's Robert Conrad.
And when they were doing stage work, they would instead of him.
Wait, who's the tough guy? Is that Robert Conrad? There's a Robert Blake, a Robert Conrad, William Conrad. I'm going with William Conrad.
All right,
was Cannon.
I'm going to trust you.
First guy to call him fat was first guy to get his ass kicked by Cannon.
And when they were doing stage work,
William Conrad?
Yeah. They had to lift. They would lift the sofa and move the sofa onto another sage.
With him on it?
Instead of him, yeah.
No.
I heard that.
No, that can't be true.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He was, okay, so there's today's fat, and then there's yesterday's fat. And when you go back and look at yesterday's fat, and you see like Curly from the Three Stooges, who you thought was fat, he's just husky by today's standards.
Cannon was
a big man.
He was a big man.
Well, he was certainly big for a private detective.
And remember Streets of San Francisco?
Oh, yeah. One of the best
when the car would hit the air.
One of the best opening theme songs ever. Do you remember the music?
No, I don't.
Oh, Byron, find the Streets of San Francisco.
All right, what's this one?
And probably a Quincy Jones. Oh, okay. Okay. Don't do any more. Don't do any more. I'll tell you right.
Don't
go
do
to
the
bed
crime.
with no prize on your head.
Yeah.
No, Sammy Davis. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Hey, keep your eye on the sparrow. Do, 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 do. When the going gets narrow. Hey, hey, hey. That's Sammy Davis Jr.
I didn't know that, but I can tell you what that show was.
Yeah.
Beretta.
Yeah. He had a bird.
Cockatiel, yeah. Fred.
Cockatiel, Fred. And that's about all.
And his guy on the street was Rooster.
Yeah, there was Rooster, and then Starsky and Hutch had Huggy Boy.
Yeah.
Two characters that would never fly in today's Hollywood, you know what I mean? Because he'd be wearing a felt hat with a feather, and he'd turning out some bitches, you know, and he'd come to him for information. And the conceit was, if you're a pimp, you know everything that's happening outside of a building.
Yeah.
That's essentially the rule. Anything that happens outside, pimps know. That's how all the street, everything. And they'd always heard about some smack that was coming into town with some Asians or something like that. They always heard something. They didn't know the full story. They didn't have phone numbers or anything or dates, but they heard that a big shipment of smack was coming in.
One of the great pimp performances is Harvey Keitel in Taxi Driver.
Oh, yeah. God, I haven't thought about that. Yeah, the white pimp from Taxi Driver. Yeah, all right. Give me the streets of San Francisco. Probably a Quincy Jones arrangement, and we can look it up. But tell me how good this arrangement is. Come the horns. God, blowing that sax. Roscoe Lee Brown.
And the unembarrassed use of the snap zoom.
Oh, so all you had to do was pump the jam and do the snap zoom everywhere. Maybe a little Dutch.
Yeah.
You know, Dutch, if somebody died, like fell and hit their head, you just Dutch it a little bit. That meant they were dead, not knocked out. Was that a Quincy Jones?
That was Patrick Williams.
Oh, man.
He did, for TV, he did Columbo, the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Wow.
And then he scored Breaking Away.
Oh, one of my favorite movies. Jesus, that's a
Nominated for
gem of a movie, Breaking Away.
Yeah,
Familiar with that
absolutely.
one?
Yeah, of course.
I love that movie. I've always been such a fan of that movie. It's weird that he scored one of my favorite movies. Except for all that movie did was use classical music.
He received an Oscar for scoring Breaking Away.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's got talent. I mean, just
Oscar nomination, excuse me.
Yeah,
and that's San Francisco.
And the blaxploitation feel of that Streets of San Francisco. I mean, it's right out of that era.
Well, they had two black guest stars, and you know they weren't accountants and small business owners. That was the pimp and his lady of the night or whatever it is. They just wouldn't do it. You couldn't have a random black person in a random job. They had to have a black person job. That's how they. Otherwise, you just put a white person.
Yeah, exactly.
In there. That's how we used to roll.
Yeah, that was the way it was.
Now you said TV not encouraged in your home. Is that because your parents?
Yeah, they it was all about school and doing well in school, and it was pretty serious. It was a pretty serious academic upbringing, and so we were allowed an hour a week.
Oh.
But then on Sundays, I could watch movies as long as it was Marx Brothers, W.C. Fields, or a Western.
So how did that work? Because there are things parents try to impose, like my mom trying to impose health food. You know what I mean? But it tasted so horribly that I'd find myself at other people's houses just scarfing down junk food.
There was one TV in the house.
So you couldn't
That was it.
get around it.
And it wasn't a big TV. It didn't dominate a room. They weren't going to have that. They watched absolutely no TV unless it was the World Series. They would watch that.
Really?
Or maybe a tennis final because they played tennis. But that was pretty much it. Oh, and we could watch OU football. We could watch college football. And then if you had any C's or below, then there was no TV whatsoever. But they would go out to eat, and then my older brother Mike would come and grab us, and then we'd go watch Mannix or Beretta. Or The Night Stalker.
Oh, Kolchak. Yeah. And all you needed back then was a good theme song, maybe like a pet bird or pimp.
Well, but the Night Stalker was terrifying.
Oh, the Night Stalker was terrifying. Yeah. But in the TV world, you needed a saying too. Like Beretta would go, and you can take that to the bank.
Yeah.
And you just end it with him saying his saying. You know, who loves you, baby? Telly Savalas. Like he's bald, he's got a lollipop, and he's got a phrase. And we're about halfway through the creation of this because he's got a phrase, he's got a lollipop, and he's bald. So it's half written, like literally.
And then he did the Players Club commercials. And then Phil Hartman on Saturday Night Live had the Players with Yourself Club.
Oh, we got to find that. I used to love... So it was weird. I would watch Players Club commercials. So my family had nothing, no credit cards, no anything. No, we had a 13-inch black and white Zenith TV, which I always say.
And what did you watch?
I watched as much as I could watch because TV was like my only friend. Like I wasn't a reader. I was really poor academically. I couldn't read or write. And so I just watched the hell out of TV. So all the stuff you watch, because we're the same age, all the Vegas and Charlie's Angels and Mannix and all of it. I just watched it all and just sort of stared at it. But I was kind of studying it in my own way because I had a comedic brain. I just didn't really know what to do with it. But I was looking at it that way. You know, like a young comedian, I guess it's like being gay when you're 12 or something. You're like, I don't really like girls, but I think I want to hang out with Tim, you know, but you don't know what it is. You just you're inclined, you know what I mean? And when your brain is a young comedic brain, I would watch the Players Club commercials with Telly Savalas, and it was great because he'd come walking in. The Players Club was like some discount card
for casinos
that got you into probably shitty casinos, and I'm sure they hated to see the Players Club because that meant tip was included and 40% off meals and whatever, but he'd come rolling in and whip out the Players Club and they'd be like, right this way, Mr. Savalas. Like, it'd be like pulling a coupon out at a Ralph's and have him go, oh, right this way, sir. You know, and I always thought about there's no way they really thought that or would react. If I showed up with a Players Club card, I'd be told, sir, step aside, move the back of the line with some paying customers who'd like to get into the booth you want. But I was breaking it down, and I used to see commercials for the poker and Pan Poker Casino Society of Gardena. Mm-hmm. And I remember I lived out here, but I was 12, and I was never going to any of these places, you know, where people are eating. But they would do the whole rap about how good the food was, and it's in Gardena, right? And they'd go, the Palomino, Italian food, exquisite. The Continental, you're on the French Riviera. And I would just sit back and go, there's no way you even would mistake any part of Gardena with the French Riviera. And the commercials are depressing and the waitress is fat, you know, but they would yell, you're on the French Riviera. And it would make me laugh because I was trying to break it down, you know, sort of comedically. Later on, I got a job remodeling a decorative box factory in Gardena, and all my suspicions were confirmed. Like, Gardena, you would not think you're on the French Riviera.
Now, did remodeling a decorative box factory, because it was for decorative boxes, did that kind of up the level that you had to achieve because you were remodeling a place that made something decorative?
My takeaways from remodeling the decorative box factory in Gardena is the commute from North Hollywood was going to be about an hour and 20 minutes each way.
So the designers of the boxes didn't come in and look at your work and say, this is not up to our standard?
Up to box snuff. No, what the sad
There's
part,
regular box
the takeaway is I would watch really put upon beleaguered, heavy-set Guatemalan women putting together these Estee Lauder boxes. You know, on the commercial, it's a slender, hot white chick getting it from her beautiful husband. And I was like, ironically, they'll never see one of these boxes, and they're not going to get any of these boxes from their husband. Like, it was sad. It was like a sad tableau to me.
Well, that's a Marxist statement right there, because it's, you know, the box itself hides all the work that went into it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I went also later on.
Not a big Marx fan, by the way, but that
well,
was his
you
argument.
would watch their movies.
Yeah, no.
Your parents would encourage them to watch those Marx movies. Yeah, I later on went to a sex toy factory and toured that much later on. The box factory I was working at, I was building.
And didn't you say, look, I can work here?
Yeah,
I was. The sex toy factory?
At the sex toy factory, I saw the same Guatemalan heavy-set, beleaguered woman, but she was like sewing pubic hair onto Ron Jeremy's
the same skill
dick,
set.
and I was like, "That's probably not her scene either."
Are there sex toys with pubic hair on them?
Oh, don't be naive.
Let's do a deep dive on that.
There was, I mean, it was a man show bit. And I remember the guy who ran the place, and it's a character guy named Marty. He's like kind of a businessman, you know what I mean? Something. And
Sounds like a Marty job.
All my recollection of doing the bit is at some point I said Benoit balls, and he like yelled. He like looked around and did like cut. It's always funny when people who've never been on camera try to stop. They go, they point at like the mic, you know, the PA who's holding a cup of coffee. We need to stop, or we need to cut this, or stop the film. Stop now. Let's cut film. And I was like, what's the problem? And he said, listen, we don't do Benoit. Anal beads. Anal beads. You understand? Benoit's, they're competing with the Benoit company or something. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, Marty. I will correct this. Yeah. It's like, okay, because then they keep going. I can't. If we're going to go Benoit balls, I'm stopped. We need to stop now. And I'm going, no, it's fine. We'll do the anal beads.
Right, my contract.
Yeah, because you understand. Yes, we get what you're. We won't say it. We'll just keep going. He made a big deal about. You can find the bit. It was from 20 years ago. I went and toured a sex factory where they made all these.
And that was things. In L.A.?
Everything that involves making something here is kind of like deep Sun Valley, or you get to Gardena or something. Like, you know, they don't do a lot of like manufacturing. I mean, maybe downtown-y used to do a lot, but you had to go kind of outskirts to get the real estate to really set up a first-class dildo
like a car
factory.
Dealership,
Yeah. Yeah, you could have the showroom in Beverly Hills, you know, but you can't manufacture the Audis or you can't have them in volume. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this was
if you want to make the first-rate stuff.
Yeah, and this was this guy who was this guy named Marty. He looked like he sold, you know, women's garments somewhere in downtown or something. He had a sort of generic Jewish businessman kind of vibe to him, but and he probably was. He just makes dildos, and like butt plugs and stuff like that. I don't think to him he didn't really care what he made. It was all
just about the margin.
Yeah, it was all about the margins. Yeah, I don't know what it was called.
I think it's just.
But you did invest in it.
Oh, after Marty gave me the Benoit versus anal bead pitch, I immediately pulled my checkbook out. All right, well, we'll see if we can... Oh, do you have it? Oh, you have the commercial for the Poker and Pan Society Association of Gardena. It can't be the one from my childhood, but it's still got to be funny. Let's see if we can play that. It's so sad.
All right.
There's always music involved. No music?
Is Gardenia called Freeway City?
I don't know.
That's sad.
Oh, there's no sound to it? Oh, that's it.
This is it.
That's it. Do they have... Let's see. Do we pot it up, or is there sound to it?
Now features the restaurants of the El Dorado. One or the other of our fine restaurants at the El Dorado are open 24 hours of every day. Here, the preparation and serving of fine food and beverages is an art form. To get to the El Dorado in Gardena, take the Harbor or San Diego Freeway off or down to Beach Boulevard on Vermont. The El Dorado Restaurants, members of the Poker and Pan Casino Association of Gardena,
welcomes you to Gardena. Gardena's a shithole. I just remember sitting home with going, one more place we're never going to eat at. I would just watch commercials and go, we're never going to do that.
What was your neighborhood?
I grew up in North Hollywood.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just over, but past Lancashire.
Yeah, just the valley when it was just kind of the valley. There wasn't much to it, that didn't have... It wasn't artistic or interesting. It still isn't, really. But, I mean, it didn't have pockets like Valley Village and stuff like that. It was just kind of the valley. People lived in North Hollywood.
Well, now, I mean, the director Terrence Malick was saying, he was telling me, he's a very interesting way of talking, and he said, he lived in Austin, and he said, just more and more Austin looks like the valley. And I feel like a lot of the country does now.
Well, the valley is sort of when left alone, what societies will turn into. Like it's a natural evolution, like cheap kind of a lot of mini malls and sort of single story houses, and not a lot of architecture going on. Just the basics, There's a sort of minimalist, sort of pragmatic, doing business. It's sort of boring and unattractive. Lots of asphalt and square, buildings with flat roofs
and sprawl.
And sprawls, and it just kind of keeps moving out, and they just keep popping up stucco boxes because it's easy to build. The windows are aluminum, sliders. It doesn't have any Hell's Kitchen kind of character to it, or New Orleans, or there's nothing to it. It's sort of bankrupt artistically. Just boxes, people, cheap row houses. Just a cheap place for people to live, and then along comes the convenience stores and the corner stores and the cheap supermarkets, and it's just kind of there's nothing really there.
Right.
But it's like livable and semi-safe, and it's practical. It's not very interesting, and that's where I grew up.
And I think you live in Hollywood Hills, right?
I lived under the Hollywood sign for a little while, like really pretty much just under it.
Right.
And then I lived up in Lake Hollywood, just above the reservoir, which was great. But I'm not there anymore.
I love Hollywood Hills. I think it's gorgeous.
I liked it too, and I lived in a gorgeous house, beautiful house that I restored, old Spanish model house from up there. Amazing house. And at some point when my daughter was like 4, she's like, "Dad, I want a backyard with a swing," And I was like, this is all view and all architecture and all everything, but it's not really kid friendly. So I moved to a place with a backyard, and I put a swing up.
We raised 3 boys in New York City, right?
Wow.
Right there in the city. And my wife, when we early on in our, right before we got married, when it was clear that that's what we were going to do and that we wanted to have children, she said, "I'm not raising kids where when I'm walking them and they're 4 years old, they're at the height of bus exhaust."
Right.
And she grew up in Texas, and I grew up in Oklahoma. But then we ended up raising them there, and I couldn't imagine raising them anywhere else. And I loved my upbringing in Oklahoma. It was one of those leave the house in the morning on your bike on the weekends, and my mother and father didn't have to worry. And these boys grew up riding the subway. Our middle one is a serious skateboarder, and he's been all over the city. I remember one day I said to him, I said, Teddy, I saw a kid. He looked like he was about 16, 17, and he was skateboarding, holding on to a city bus.
Right.
I said, do you have any friends who do that? And he said, Dad, I do that.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. So, yeah, they... And he's survived, and he's in college now, and he's fine. And for all I know, he still does it. But now I can't say a darn thing about it. Except, please don't do that.
I couldn't imagine. I know plenty of people lived in New York and raised kids in New York, and I think the answer is you kind of find your way, wherever you are. I mean, whether you're the parent or the kid, you just kind of figure out your environment and find out the things you like about it and things to avoid about it. But it still seems sort of mind-numbing to raise kids in New York.
I for various reasons, I think that each of our boys really benefited from it. And this is post facto, obviously. If we'd raised them in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I would say I can't imagine raising them anywhere else, because that's probably psychologically what we do. But just specific to each one of them, my oldest boy, the one who made the movie, is heavily into music. And he got to go to Juilliard pre-college and learn about composition, and he studied that in college. And I can't imagine him having the opportunity to study what he studied and how he studied it in any other city in the country. And the middle one got into this skateboard culture and still managed to do very well in school, and knows all of the 5 boroughs and has met some crazy, interesting characters he writes about. And then the youngest one is incredibly academic, and he went to a great high school in New York City. So,
I'm trying to think how much is nature and nurture and environment. I used to be a lot more nurture, and then as I got older, I went nature, because I have twins, and boy, girl, and they're so different from one another. And I started realizing I didn't have much input into like who they were.
Right.
And I don't think their environment had much input into who they were. They just were, like from Jump Street, I've found. I'm nothing like anyone in my family. I don't have anything to do with my environment or any of that. I always felt I was on some sort of path, thinking a certain way or wanting to do a certain thing that people generally didn't understand around me. I had to live a blue collar existence because that's where I lived or how I survived. But I'm trying to think of how much of the environment, how much did the environment or my parents, and maybe it's a scale, because it sounds like your parents shaped you. Mine didn't really shape me.
They shaped us, and I'm actually grateful for it, even though I might use some pejorative language. They shaped us with just psychological warfare. I mean, it was asymmetrical warfare, because they were adults and we were kids, and if you didn't do well in school, that was first and foremost. Your life was absolutely miserable. And so you just kind of had to get with the program. And then other stuff that was also important, like being decent and charitable, et cetera, it was inflected with that too. But it was asymmetrical warfare. But that's kind of typical of my generation, or our generation, I think. But maybe you were allowed to be who you were. Right?
I was completely left alone.
Yeah.
100%. No looking at report cards. No, I mean,
real hands off.
Yeah, real hands off. Super free range. I just did whatever I wanted all the time.
But you probably became funny and charming and all the stuff that aw shucks you are, and quick on your feet. because sometime along, somewhere along the line, and I think this happened with me too, because I wasn't going to win any beauty contests. I just realized that, if I can be funny and sharp, then I can actually have some currency socially. And that happened in middle school, and I think that had an enormous amount to do with my becoming a performer.
Yeah, I was a jock when I started
Really?
off. Yeah,
In
that
what
was my
sport?
currency, football.
What did you play?
I played linebacker and I played guard and tackle and all the way through. That was my best thing. I was funny, but no one cared about that. But I was a like all-star football player, so I got a lot of my meaning out of that, or whatever you get at the school.
Right.
That's what I got. I got it out of playing sports. I didn't. The funny part was just sort of down the. That just came down the road.
Were you the Mike or the Will or what?
Linebacker?
Yeah.
Oh, they had Stud and Baker and Mike and Will. Yeah, I don't know why they would name outside. One's Stud, one's Baker. Maybe those are the inside guys. I was inside in high school.
All right. So
and
you were a
long,
middle linebacker.
long snapper, too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Thankless job. You're only noticed if you fuck up.
That's all. And let me tell you, you guys fucking around at home, put on linebacker shoulder pads. Back when they used to give you a linebacker shoulder, like big shoulder pads, big 80s, like the women wore and their sport coats. Put on the toilet seat neck roll, put on the helmet, and then bend between your legs at a night game at North Hollywood High where it's like drizzling outside. And the stadium wasn't lit very well, like a lot of the lights were out. Sure. And I was just looking at a dark, shadowy figure of a punter that was like 15 yards back. And I'd play the whole game both ways. So by the time, I remember very clearly, one of the games we were winning, we were up by like 4 points with like 2 minutes left or a minute and a half or something like that. I was sweaty and tired. I'd been playing both ways and snapping. I never left. Yeah. The only time I walked off the field was for kickoff and kick return. And it was the end of the game, and all we had to do, we're on about the 30, our own. All we had to do was punt the ball, and the time would probably expire. They had no timeouts in 30 seconds or whatever. I got called on offense for holding as a guard, and I was pissed. And
Was that on third down?
I was on third, and I started yelling. And then the guy hit me with a technical. So the next thing you know, we're moving back like 25 yards, and we're punting. And I'm going up to the ball, and it's on like the 4-yard line, and the end zone is dark, and it's starting to rain outside. And I played the whole game, and I'm dirty and sweaty and everything, and I'm looking between my legs, and I'm like, if you screw up this snap, you will have single-handedly lost this game with your 2 penalties. And if you skip it back to that punter, we're going to lose this game, and it'll be because of you. Because we got all pushed back, and now we're punting out of our own end zone.
And
I never missed the snap.
Oh, good.
2 years, junior, senior year, drilled it into his chest every single time. It's the only thing I did.
I am
we did
very,
right.
very impressed.
See, it was a thankless job.
Yeah, because if you're on the 4-yard line and it skips out of the end zone, or that's it.
I remember bending down over the ball, thinking I'm going to complete the trifecta. I got the 2, and they didn't have a no-can rule back then, which is you are not allowed to take a guy whose head is between his legs and drill his head further in between his legs. You can't do that now. Back then, they just took the biggest dude on the other team, and the plan was blow you up.
Yeah.
And if they would blow you up and make you think about it the next snap, then you would skip it back and try to get up fast. So that was their strategy. So they used to blow you up. Yeah. And there was no one thanked me for snapping the ball.
No, but nobody ever does.
No one ever does.
I mean, and the center is a venerated position. So like Creed Humphreys, who plays for the Chiefs, I mean, he's people know him. People know the center, but long snapper and the snapper on a field goal try.
No, yeah, that too. And then, field goals, extra points, long snaps, and shotgun. You know, we'd run shotgun a little bit. I don't know, maybe back then it was under center, and then maybe on 3rd and long shotgun. I'd just swap with the center on shotgun. I'd snap the shotguns.
Oh, God.
Unheralded.
Yeah. So did you want to play in college?
Yeah, I got recruited to play in smaller colleges.
And did you do it?
No, I got recruited at Marshall, UC Davis, Cal Poly Pomona.
Well, Marshall's really good now.
Yeah, they weren't back then, though. That's why they recruited me. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Roman Gabriel was the coach. Cal Poly Pomona,
the ex-Raider.
Yeah, Ram.
Oh, Ram, that's right.
Oh, yeah, the R.
Yeah,
I was
Stabler
I was recruited.
with the
I
Raiders
recruited to play at
time.
small colleges, but it just wasn't meant to be.
And do you watch the NFL, you guys?
Oh yeah, I get pissed off when
we did a whole long snapping
when the shotgun snapper sucks, like in the Super Bowl. I get pissed off.
Yeah,
you should be able to do it at that level.
Well, who was that? Was that my guy Creed Humphreys? Because
was Creed putting it down on the ground? Yeah, he was.
No, he's the Chiefs.
Yeah, it was the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You got the win.
He's a great center. I'm sorry. He's a great center.
In the Super Bowl, he was putting them down too low. That's what I'm saying. We put together a little.
Did we put a little montage? Yeah.
All right, we'll show it to you just because you brought it. Just because you brought it up, and we can avoid me taking a tour of the dildo factory that way too.
No, I want to see that. I want to see that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of me from 15 or 20 years ago, snapping back. No. All right, let's show. What was that? I don't know. Did we label it?
We tweeted. Oh, this is the wrong one.
Oh, is this?
All right, we can show the dildo factory. Sorry, Topco sales.
We'll that was their cover.
That's what they called it. This is probably 25 years ago.
I'm Adam Carolla.
My pleasure to meet you.
I'm looking to have a likeness of my penis made by you.
And what did you have in mind particularly?
Well, I just want to check out the operation. Maybe you can show me around some of the other products you make.
It'd be my pleasure.
Marty doesn't disappoint, does he?
Adam, you like that?
Oh yeah,
it's a great marketing tool. It gives the customer an opportunity. The husband. It's a love swing.
All right, I'm ready. Get started.
Yeah. You can actually sit in there and watch television.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can watch your show.
Sure, it's important to feel like a gay pinata when you watch TV. What will this thing hold, weight-wise?
This will hold about 450 pounds.
Oh, good. Jimmy can use one.
He used to be a little heavier.
From an association of manufacturers that we have.
When I was in high school, I was awarded the coveted bronze jack bib. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, shocking. So what are your biggest sellers? I mean, is it butt plugs? Is it anal lube? Is it boob lube? Is it vibrators? Is it dildos? Is it penis rings? Is it sack blenders? Is it anus scramblers? Or those little penises with the feet that hop around the desk?
I think that novelty products are cute. Products that have a function always do much, much better.
Right. Something you can actually put up your ass.
Not Benoit balls.
Here's where it all happens.
That's the factory.
Where you create the magic.
You got it.
God willing, my penis will be going down this conveyor belt soon. Well, this is a lot like Jimmy Page's guitar. Remember that? It had the two necks on it?
Right. This is called the seashell.
Uh-huh.
Or the she shell. Uh-huh. Whatever you like.
Oh, I
can hear something?
I hear the ocean.
You're right.
And I smell a tuna boat. Sir, you've insulted my honor. I'll now run you through. And what about this? What do we do with this?
Use your imagination.
Well, I know this goes up your ass, but what about this part? So you're saying the North American Free Trade Agreement has not adversely impacted your business? Seriously, I don't know if you sell this item, but I sure as hell could use it, because sometimes, things get out of control at the house, Just answer the question, please. I'm like a penis pirate. Avast there, you mateys! We're about to board the vagina ship! Jesus Christ, Marty, you're building all the parts here. You're like Dr. Yankenstein.
You better believe it.
Marty, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah?
I'm like this downstairs, all right? Actually, wait a minute. Let me be honest. I'm more like this downstairs.
I feel so sorry for you.
I'm looking for this. Can you accommodate me?
Adam, we can do anything here.
Marty, this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. With my penis, not with you.
All right, so I just found humor, they would call it.
Yeah.
You just walk around this guy's dildo factory. Didn't have much of a sense of humor.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's what we do in the Man Show. We just go,
Yeah.
Adam goes to a dildo factory. We found one.
Yeah.
Go over there. Bring 2 cameras and walk around.
That was classic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Then you just go into the edit bay and go, well, we got 4 hours of footage and we got to get down to 3.5 minutes. And they just sit there. And then they'd always give you a rough cut. And I'd go, what happened to the pirate dildo part where I put the thing on my head? And then at some point the editor would go, yeah, it wasn't that good. And I'd go, I thought it was pretty funny. And they'd go, nah, it wasn't that good. And I go, well, pull it up. And then they'd pull it up. And then he'd start laughing when we'd watch it.
And you'd say,
I'd
all
go,
right. Yeah.
All right. And that's, then we'd have a
Yeah,
Man Show
good to
back
ask about NAFTA with that.
with the dildo on the head.
Yeah, if only Al Gore had done that in the debate against Ross Perot.
We have a short montage of 37 seconds of your boy snapping it down at Mahomes' feet. Sorry it's so visual, people, but you got to watch on YouTube.
Low snap. Mahomes resets. Incomplete. Mahomes. Low snap. Incomplete. Low snap. Low snap.
Here's what I'll do. Your right hand, I'll put it up here.
Okay, already ready to throw.
I'll put it right here.
All right. About 3 o'clock.
Tim, you may fall in love with me.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Set, go. But tell you what, we may be able to go shotgun this year.
Yeah.
Set, go.
Not that hard.
Wow.
A lot of range. Long snapping, dildo factory ambassador.
Yeah, and my guess is that you could also snap right to a lefty.
Oh, I could put it on.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got the win. I mean, KC.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
one of
they
the
did.
craziest, best Super Bowls
That was fantastic.
of all goddamn time.
I hope that they truly figure out how to eliminate more and more the CTE, because I can't stop watching that sport.
Yeah.
Football.
It's impossible.
And I have friends who say I can't watch it anymore, and I get it, and but I love the NFL, and I love
it too.
college football too.
I can't get enough.
The athleticism, and also I don't think there's a more difficult position in sports than being a quarterback. I just don't think there is in any sport.
I know. It's funny because baseball always says this thing. It's like, no harder thing to do in sports than put a round bat on a round ball. There's harder things. Playing quarterback is harder than doing that.
The intuition, the knowing the playbook, the intellectual aspect of it, the leadership aspect of it, the psychological aspect of it, how you have to step away from your mistakes, making decisions while people are bull rushing you. I mean, recognizing a blitz with all the stunts. It's just I don't know how they do it. And then you get to watch these safeties and receivers go up and fight for the ball, and the athleticism. It's just such an exciting sport. And the coaching against one another.
I agree. Listen, I think the CTE stuff is going to be mitigated quite a bit in practice, because they're putting the big foam pads over the helmet and they're doing much less contact than they used to do full contact like all the time. And I think a lot of it, just like with boxers, a lot of the damage is sparring. That's what they're doing a lot of. The fights, not as much as the countless rounds of sparring those guys would put in, and the countless full contact practice, even back when I played, was always full speed, full contact, and I didn't care about any of that stuff. Now, they're not in full pads doing full contact a lot, and when they are, they have the supplementary pillow pad over the helmet that you see, and so I think that's going to be impactful.
I hope you're right.
We can all watch and enjoy. Let me give you a plug, Tim. Asleep in My Palm, which is available on digital March 19th and then on streaming April 19th. Very highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's a family affair with Henry, your son.
Yes.
I hope you come back anytime you want to plug something or talk a little football or dildos or whatever.
I would love to. It's
on your
great,
mind.
and you're great, and it's great to be on.
You
your
didn't
show.
like me until you found out about the long snapping part.
Yeah,
right?
that's the only reason.
I thought this guy's a New York Jew. He's not going to care about long snapping. I'm not going to bring that up, but it just came out and found a match.
That's right. You're one of those great Jewish football players.
I'm not Jewish.
Oh, you're not? All right.
I'm Italian, and the whole time I played football and the whole time I worked construction, no one ever mistook me for a Jew.
All right.
But the second I got into comedy, Jewish.
Well, I'm Jewish, and my parents in Oklahoma, my mother made my brother Randy and me play football.
Wow.
Yeah, in middle school. It would, because how could it be? Yeah, it could only do us good to have that discipline and harshness and deal with a football coach and get hit. And
you do learn a lot.
Yeah, you learn a lot.
Good on them.
All right, I want to. So again, Tim, Blake Nelson, thank you very much for coming in. Steve Trevino has got the special out. Steve Trevino, Simple Man. You can go to AdamCroll.com. I'm going to be West Palm Beach doing shows at the West Palm Kennel Club coming up, doing stand-up there. March 22nd, 23rd, and then in Reno, going to be opening the Paul Newman collection at the National Automobile Museum Club. March 30th, Leno's going to be out there as well, and it'll be the first showing of all my Newman race cars if you want to come out and check that out. Until next time, this is Adam for Tim and Steve and Chris saying mahalo.